What is up, everyone? Welcome to the RoV Pro League. My name is D2, or at least my username is. I am joined by The Source, and we have an interesting set of matches for you guys today. A very important one, starting off the broadcast with RRQ going off against BRAW. Arctic Wolf, Braun, we talked about this the other day. BRAW did what they had to do on Monday, taking out TDC. Now, this is the most important match of the season for them. If they can 2-0 RRQ, they are basically holding the cards to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, this is step 2 on their, I guess it was a 5-step plan.
Something like that.
1, 2, 3, 4-step plan. This is step 2 on the 4-step plan to making it into the playoffs.
The most important step, though. The most important one.
Very much the most important step. I mean, although there's some other things going on in there. It started with a victory over TDC, and then it leads into them being able to control their own destiny by winning all of their games. And they have to play up against a number of teams that are in those contentious spots, close to them in terms of points, teams they need to be able to beat. And if they do, things are good. Now, they need a couple of things to go their way, but the schedule lines up for them to make a playoff run.
Right. It's not exactly within their own hands as far as, or within their own destiny. What's the word? What's the phrasing you just used? I forgot. Anyway. They control their own. They control their own destiny.
They control their own destiny.
Okay. They don't technically control their own destiny, but RRQ has to face off against Alpha Red next week, which you assume is going to be a win for Alpha Red. But that said, Alpha Red just lost to the last place team yesterday, so I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Tell me what happened. Like things have shifted, but ideally for BRAW, the teams they needed to beat and make it over in points are up against some of the top tier teams. With that in mind, Alpha Red did some shenanigans. So can you tell me what happened in that series?
Did you get to watch it?
No.
They didn't look good. just plain and simple.
I gathered, but that's a 2-0 between Alpha Red and the worst team in the league. So something went devastatingly wrong.
Yeah, SNCK looked better than I've seen them. I think that SNCK has been not unlucky, but I think they're closer to the middle of, I think from everywhere from RRQ all the way down to SNCK. All those 5 teams I feel like are around the same level, except that SNCK probably had, a couple bad drafts, a couple bad, unfortunate events happening. So I think that's why they're so far behind, or at least they were so far behind before. As we have, I don't know what's going on with, I kind of want to turn on the sound and listen to this guy.
I think his shirt says Navigator.
Yes, this says Navigator.
So there's something going on here.
It's probably another commercial. Let's be real.
I don't know. This seems too poignant to be a commercial. He's talking about AOV.
Maybe he's like from the military and he's like cheering on the
one of the teams today, or
it would make sense. I mean, I'm not 100% sure of this, but I believe this is the esport in which Thailand is the most successful, having nearly won the world championship. I mean, I can't really think of any other. You're the esports guy. Can you think of any other esport where Thailand has like been a powerhouse?
No. Give me a second. There's one thing, like my brain is running me through one instance that I want to check, and I want to check the nationalities of the players.
Okay, well the point is it doesn't immediately pop off the mind. Like you could probably think of if I say Overwatch, who's the best country?
That's South Korea.
Who's the best country in League?
Still South Korea.
Who's the best country in or region in HOTS or something, right? It's like sometimes it's Korea, sometimes it's Europe.
Actually, EU does pretty good in HOTS. Counter-Strike is generally Europe. Dota is pretty actually all over the place. You get a wide range. It's actually one of the places where North America does incredibly well, but also China has a lot of international championships. I was specifically checking up on the Taipei Assassins. I wanted to know the nationality of that team. Granted, they are from Taiwan, and that is honestly, in my opinion, Taiwan's biggest esports achievement. But I didn't know whether or not there were a couple of Thailand players on there, because I couldn't remember every single player on that roster. So I did just check that. So yes, this is likely to be Thailand's. This is probably the esport they are best at, most known for. There are individual Thailand players on some other League of Legends teams around the world in various parts of SEA in general. But
I mean, think about it though. It's not just esports.
Flash Wolves is
how
Taiwan,
many
and
like how many sports is Thailand good at? Like,
let's set it with a quick Google search.
Oh,
Thailand Sports Championships.
well, the thing is that's why you see so many sponsors in this league, and why I wouldn't be surprised if that was a very like high-ranking guy on that cell phone video there talking to the players. But
I mean, maybe also somebody who plays the game, enjoys the game, and just like as somebody who is well known, possibly. Because I mean, we have a lot of that over in the States, where it's celebrities to a large number of degrees. Maybe that's just the way things go. But nothing is immediately coming to mind in terms of things that Thailand has done specifically well in esports. So sure, maybe this is their rallying, especially with that opening video. That opening video is very like this is something we're proud of, and that's super cool for Thailand. Like, you guys are good at the game, own it.
Yeah, especially, and I love how there's so many commercials and so many ad opportunities. It's like they're really going all in it on it.
What's the viewership like in the RPL? I haven't checked.
It's like
I'm curious on their
it often gets up to 100,000 per broadcast, I would say. Sometimes it goes really high when there's like a marquee matchup. I know that every single VOD usually gets over 1 million views. In any case, take a look at RRQ. Coops, Headman, Nornan, One Noise, and L9. RRQ is currently in 4th place. They have 13 points. And they are only 1 point ahead of EVOS and 3 points ahead of BRAW. But like we mentioned before, if BRAW wins is 2-0, then obviously, simple math, they close the gap by 2 points. And RRQ, in theory, has a harder matchup next week, which is why we went on that long tangent about what happened with Alpha Red. Let's take a look at Buriam, Arctic Wolf, Romeo, Tuno Name, Mons, Jagons, and Jorzen. And like we mentioned earlier this week, they took care of business, defeating TDC. Oh, we forgot. RRQ hasn't played their match against Bacon yet earlier this week, so they have 2 matches left. But
was that rescheduled?
I assume, unless they just want to forfeit points. But yeah, like we mentioned, or like I was about to say, Alpha Red, they didn't draft that great yesterday, and on top of that, they were getting both teams were very sloppy. They both look like mid-tier teams. And SNCK didn't look as bad as the worst team in the league, but they didn't. It wasn't like a Monster Shield thing where they played out of their minds, or SMG when we cast the other day. It was just kind of like they were sloppy, but so was Alpha Red, and then Alpha Red threw harder, basically.
So what's happening to Alpha Red? Like, do we know if there's something specific happening? Because this is a pretty drastic shift. Losing to Bizarre, that's a fair matchup, but them losing to SNCK, or at least at 2-0, not even making it a series.
I honestly don't know. I only started doing these English broadcasts as of 2 weeks ago, and I've never been overly impressed by Alpha Red. They've been winning, but they haven't been dominant. And so I don't know if they were dominant before. I don't know if the rest of the team, the rest of the league, had just caught up to them. It could be a mix of everything. Since I started casting this, IT.City Bacon has looked anywhere from good to great. Bizarre has looked amazing the entire time, with the exception of yesterday when IT.City Bacon bamboozled them. And Alpha Red has looked just okay to me, like good, from anywhere from okay to good. But
have I got you saying bamboozle?
Yeah, you have.
But yes. All right, we're into the draft though. I'll take my victory lap later.
Okay. Well, we're having some interesting bands, which I don't want to start bashing on them immediately, but it's always the Grak band, and I don't know why.
Also, the Morin. I don't feel like we see Morin really anywhere else.
Did we see Buriam play Morin?
Back in like I think the first day we casted, I think we did. But I'm like,
is he ban worthy? I just don't.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, to the point where, yeah, you're taking away a marksman jungler, but he doesn't bring the same things the other ones do. Like, Violet brings mobility and burst. Lindis brings mobility and camp taking. Fennec brings mobility and camp taking. Morin brings high on Morin. Like, he shows up, he starts doing damage, but he's a little, he's kiteable in the early game. There has to be some player who has made him a terror on that server.
Okay, let's address the rest of these bans. So Morin and Grak we're not really fans of, even if that is kind of what happens in this league. Omen is a fine ban. Superman has been really good in both GCS and the RPL, as players have really started to be able to use them well. So we're not. I would say we're fine with the Superman ban. Kriknak over the last few days has been really good as well. I don't really think that people should ban him, but you can understand the reasoning because he can just blow up people, and it kind of can blow up your strategy if you have a specific one at that. And then the Violet is pretty obvious. So
yeah, I can see a Crickneck ban if you have a specific fear of it. I actually think we're finally starting to see the true space that Superman should have occupied because of how strong he was and how many nerfs he needed to kind of get in line. I think now we're seeing teams learn to truly play Superman for his kit, make him into a pick that has a value at a given time.
Well, the thing with Superman is that he received 2 small to medium buffs. Now, 2 small buffs equals a medium buff, 2 medium buffs equals like whatever however you want to look at it, right? But the thing is, after he received his damage, or sorry, his nerf. By buff I meant nerf. After he received his damage nerf, he was still permabanned on ladder in all professional play at the AWC. So he was still this ridiculous, uncounterable character even after the first nerf. Now, after the second nerf, which was just, it was significant. It went from knocking back 400 to knocking back 300, but he's still good, so it doesn't make any sense unless the meta has completely shifted around him, which I would argue it really hasn't. That as long as you're good with Superman, you should still be able to play him well. The only thing is you can't be bad with Superman anymore because that's a death sentence.
Yeah, which I think has reduced his play, and then we saw people, who could get good at Superman or could start to draw out more of his potential, and now he's back to being a ban. So, right. I'm more or less okay with it. Mina Yebeneth, without getting rid of that Chognar, I know they have Aram, but you might. Who plays that? Who plays that mid lane Chognar in the RPL?
Kit on. I forgot what team. I think it was. I haven't seen Kit in a while. What team was he on? I think he was on EVOS, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right. Let me see. EVOS. Yeah, Kit plays for EVOS.
Anyway, we have Yebestith, Yeboyeth, as TJ likes to call him. He's getting in there.
Yebestith, Yeboyeth?
Yeah.
I like it, but there's the Chognar pickup. Like, even with the arm, it makes sense. That is so much crowd control. And just a good way to counter out the Dark Dominion.
Well, look at their lineup. They actually have 2 true sideliners in Aram and Xenial. They can flex onto support,
yeah, I guess that's
but they're
true.
not great.
My brain always quantifies Aram into support because I like playing her minimalistically. I like playing her as a support and then gaining a value out of a different sideliner. That's a personal.
Yeah, the Chognar pick is great here for Burgum, by the way, because Nature's Realm from Yebeneth is such oppressive crowd control. It slows everyone so much, not to mention all those seeds hitting you is just ridiculous. So having that, and even just for the branching out, even just for the Redwood Rush, the Chognar pick is going to be just devastating for RRQ, but I believe if Burgum can use it correctly. Because everything gets shut down. All of what they're relying on gets shut down there. Not to mention the shock, not to mention the pushbacks by the Raz. Obviously, there's only one Chaos Protection that you can use, but it's also annoying to have a guy in front who all he has to do is use his first ability, and you can't do anything against him. All those little stuns and what have you. So I think that Chognar is going to be a thorn, just a pain in the rear end here for RRQ. Not to mention the Aram that can just snare anyone who tries to get close. I believe snare overrides Nature's Realm just because it overrides everything, and Xenial just being able to save someone out. The Kilgoth pick is fine. Okay, even more CC immunity. This is fine. I don't know if it's powerful enough. Okay, so sorry, I've been talking for a long time. My final thoughts.
I've been thinking about what you're saying, and I'm like, the point on the point on the team's inability to get anything done with Chagnar makes sense. Now that we see it on Mons, it's going to be in the mid lane, so that's kind of even better, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like that just opens things up a little bit more.
I wonder if he's going to
So
play it like a kit and just play lots and lots of damage, which makes things
I
a little
hope
bit more
so.
difficult. I hope he plays a little bit more of a hybrid style, or else his team is going to be suffering a bit.
As long as he's going something, as long as he's going like Barrett's Agony, Soaring Aura, thing or not Barrett's Soaring Aura, Tome of the Reaper. Those should honestly be his two opening items
Right.
because they'll give him a little bit of that extra tankiness towards the early portion of the game. You could still go Orb of the Magi, but I tend to find it not necessary. Like that's a preference thing. Um, but I think if he can get those two items underway, he'll be solidly tanky enough that, or he'll have enough like additional damage that he can maybe take a third straight tank item or third straight damage item, depending on how far ahead he is.
Well, all that said, we're going to need to see a lot of damage coming out of Toon because we have 4 heavy frontliners here from Buriram as we get started into this game. Looks like there's going to be an invade on both sides, not very surprising from either way. Though there is the Mina on RRQ to pull that Golem out. Has she been successful? We can't really see the bottom of the map at the moment, but this top Golem gets stolen out here by a sad man like we assumed it would. Oh, the nice steal there on Kilgroth, getting that out with his punish, and that's why you build punish on that side lane for that objective control. Now,
I was 50-50 as to whether or not J Gods was going to steal that might buff like right off the bat.
yeah, true.
Getting the additional camp is like that is the what you need to do to kind of balance out the loss.
Right, and I think that well, Buriram should have a slight advantage. Looks like they're not really clearing the waves out, and that monster obviously gets stolen out here by RRQ. Wanoi's getting back to his lane perfectly in time. So this is well played, I would say, by both sides, doing what they can to start out this game. And really no mistakes so far, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see any weird blunders where people are late in rotations and just getting behind for no real reason.
Yeah, so we'll see probably some pretty slow play, I think, until
Joe just giving away the positioning of the people in the bush there. Sorry to cut you off, but it's like, hello, my team's here. It's like, what are you doing?
I mean, clearly just, felt he needed to send a message, but that's going to result in RRQ moving themselves over on this Abyssal Dragon. We've got Romeo coming in from the back. He gets a knock up. There comes out the Encase. It's going to keep everybody there. The buff will go over. Actually, no, they
Nature's
heal
Realm
up through that. L9 is there. The Nature's Realm out from Coop. They're going to get so much additional damage. Their Toon is going to be caught. And wait, is Romeo still alive? No, Romeo will die there. But that is a great team fight from the side of RRQ, and I'm surprised that they only ended up losing Sadman in that.
Redwood Rush actually stopped the Malleus out. Romeo was going to survive, but he stunned him at the exact right moment and secured his death, actually flickering back over the wall. I don't really like flicker on the Yebedeth. I kind of like execute a little bit better, but sure, sometimes you can have that little bit of extra utility with that ability, but in the end, RRQ is able to take that. And I didn't mention it before, our cast probably should have, but RRQ is our Jekyll and Hyde team. They can play amazing some games and just like pitifully passive other games, and I like their decisiveness. When they saw Buriram going onto the Spirit Sentinel, they immediately went to the Abyssal and burned it down as quickly as possible. There was no hemming, there was no hawing. They said, we're going to burn this down, we have the tools to do so, and they got it done.
Yeah, it was a good objective take for them. And again, I really thought they were all about to die, but like perfectly timed heal from Lanois keeps them alive and gave Nornan kind of the space to make maneuvers. And that, if they can continue to team fight like that, I definitely think RRQ can take this. That's going to be the Angelic Splendor out just to support J-Gods. Romeo to hold up the lane, and that's a big mass migration by the members of Buriram to the mid to the top portion of the map, to the point where Yemeneth could get some value if Nornan is willing to cut off their ability to move through the bottom half of the jungle.
Yeah, I think he had noticed a bit too late. Obviously, he couldn't see the Xenio, but he saw potentially him teleport over. I suppose that maybe they didn't have the vision on the top side, but isn't able to completely deny those 2 waves, does deny kind of like a half wave there. But in any case, they're still a little bit ahead, speaking of RRQ. And this is what I wanted to talk about during the draft, is that, yeah, Buriram seems good. The Chognar seemed like a great pick, but now they're lacking in damage. RRQ has plenty of damage, and the Yevoneth can still be very oppressive with that Nature's Realm, even if you have the CC immunity there.
Buriram look a little lost. Just in terms of decisiveness as to what they want to do or what they want to get on the map, because they've had these three people sitting around in mid lane for a really, really long time, and it hasn't converted into anything. There hasn't been, a really good snap snare play. That Toon hasn't landed a spear into the snare or some combination thereof.
Yeah, and it's all on Toon. They have so many eggs in that basket as Coop comes in, gets snared here, going to take a lot of damage, but no damage in there until Toon walks by, gets the Nature's Realm, starts to target onto Toon instead of the other members, which leads to his death there. So good pickup here from Buriram as Coop overestimates the survivability of Yevoneth there. Gonna have a little bit of push onto this mid tower as top tower is getting pushed on as well by RRQ. Their Chaos Protection comes out. He's still taking that tower damage and they're not able to get the tower. That said, top tower is saved as well.
Yeah, solid defense by Nornan, and that's kind of what we want to see from Buriram's composition, but we need to see we would want to see that a little bit more, a little bit sooner, and they got to kind of keep active with it. So it was a good idea for them to step up onto that tower, but again, they didn't really have any resources. Toon's not going to land, a clutch spear that's going to keep him there for any real length amount of time. So I really feel they need to not abandon this mid lane, but start spreading their resources everywhere else, because we're starting to see RRQ make plays towards the bottom lane. They've taken 2 Abyssal Dragons in a row. It's not as if Buriram is getting a massive invade, so they kind of need to recalibrate themselves and figure out a better positioning. We see Kilgroth up in the top half of the map. He is taking a little bit of pressure. J-God's going to make his way off into the jungle. We see that down in the bottom left corner of your screen. That'll be fine. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dark Dominion out from L9. Mons is just going to sit there. Toon was actually the one taking the tower. He's going to get caught, but jumps over the wall. Perfect timing. Snare comes in from Norton, and that is going to be Buriram with the response kill. Yevoneth is getting value in the bot lane, but maybe this gets an Abyssal Dragon into the hands of Buriram.
The Aram is just so great at sieging towers because of the fear that she puts into you, able to use that snare at any possible moment. Waited on that, held it to the last moment, and was able to save out Toon in that instance. Looks like this Abyssal is going to go the way of RRQ. But if you're Buriram, that's okay. You're still ahead in gold. You're still looking okay. What you really need to do if you're Buriram is to get Toon farmed up so you can get that damage in. But speaking of farm, Sandman has that slow on the might buff, was putting pressure on the Romeo, but backed off. Didn't realize that she could have actually potentially gotten that kill.
And Romeo's build's not bad, but it's a little armor heavy. There isn't a lot of healing there, so that may explain why Romeo's having so much trouble in this lane. You see Joe showing up to back him up a little bit, help secure the Sage Golem in the hands of Toon. Haven't seen a lot of explosive play towards the top lane. Seems like RRQ is happy to just time their every engagement around the dragon, and I feel like Buriram's a little left behind in terms of pacing. They're looking for an engage here, but not enough tools to get the job done.
Is Kilgarth going to get away? We saw the Raz rotate up there, and he does, which means that Raz is not here at the moment. Maybe they can get something to work while he's gone, and Raz halts his rotation over, realizing that there could be some sort of trap. And Kilgoth is back there in the top there. So a little bit of just playing cat and mouse here. The Raz wondering whether he should continue to move back to the center or whether he should set a trap for J-Gods. J-Gods seems to be fine, most likely. In comes Norman here, gets some damage in. The ult is popped here from J-Gods. Gets a lot of damage on the one noise. They both have a lot of lifesteal, but J-Gods doesn't want to take this 1v2. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, lots of action happening. Coop's going to go ahead and Redwood rush away. Joe trying to find that snare. But nothing going to happen. Looks like, oh, Toon comes for the flank, gets a lot of damage, and in comes a snare. They're going to take him down. In comes the Angelic Splendor as well, going to heal everyone up. Kook just going in there, no fear, gets the Nature's Realm onto multiple members here, all of them getting slow, but he's going to go down in the end. No follow up here from Nornan, and that is an unwise fight taken here from the side of RRQ.
Yeah, that was that was an auspicious flank from the side of Buriram. Toon's off taking the Might Golem and is able to turn that into a pretty solid angle for him to land a spear on the L9. They're happy to commit onto the Mina, who, if we look at the items, is playing from the support angle, so only has that advanced wind gem I can't remember what the tier 2 version of it is called. Does not have the Essence of the Wind yet. Doesn't have a lot of health. Just picked up the Essence of the Wind. So now finishing that item out ends up being a little bit behind a good target, but RRQ will respond back. They are going to get seen. There's a Bray Ram know this is going on, but there is not enough time to respond. So RRQ, with a well-timed play onto the Dark Slayer, that's a good objective for them to take. Will let them stabilize from that loss in the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, cheeky pickup there from RRQ, realizing that they had one member up on their opponents and making that happen before there was a response here from Buriram. So I'm liking the decisiveness here from RRQ, but they're getting a little bit out rotated on certain parts of the map. They're still behind around 2,500 gold here. Looks like Buriram might want to take a fight, but that's not a good idea with the health buff. But, you know, they do have the space to do so. It looks like L9's going to go down without anything to help them out. The shot comes in, but that's going to be the death of a noise, and this is a terrible fight here for RRQ. You see Coop trying to split push on the side, wanting to recall back, but he's just going to go ahead and walk, take the long route, maybe contest this Abyssal Dragon here, as multiple members you can see on the map are splitting off. Zenil doesn't have that Angelic Splendor at the moment, and Norton's going to try to go in, get some damage onto Joe. I believe this is going to be taken, and it is indeed. So Buriram, once more, with that advantage.
I mean, in terms of that initial team fight, they may be a little bit lacking in damage, but Buriram is tanky. If they do have the opportunity to run them down, they will get the job done. They've got plenty of on-hit magic damage starting to build up now that J Gods has got some items under his belt. And Toon has skyrocketed in terms of items. Toon is 3 major items into his build plus boots. Is working on his armor penetration. You combine that, and he should be able to do massive damage.
That was weird. The counter was still going in the top right-hand corner, so it wasn't a YouTube thing. It was a production thing. In any case,
yeah.
So I was talking about the lack of damage on the side of Buriram, but if you think about it, the fact that they have such a tanky composition means that what does L9 and What Noise do? They just...
Well, they definitely lacked damage at the start, but, you know, they've managed to get through it now.
I'm saying the opposite now, though, because look at RRQ. Like, L9 can't get anything done because she's having to Dark Dominion onto tanks. It's not really helping her out a whole lot, but anyway, the Chaos Protection comes in, so does the Angelic Splendor. Down goes L9 once more. Same thing is going to happen to What Noise. He cannot cleave through this amount of damage. Norton's taking a lot of damage. The Essence of the Wind goes onto Toon to keep him alive. Going to be a little bit wasted, but that does prevent the Power Surge from coming in, and Buriram takes yet another fight. And I think you would agree here, like, what is... L9 can't do anything. You can't blame him for dying in these fights here, because what else? He has to be in the front lines, and when he's in the front lines, though, he Dark Dominions tanks, and then it just feels bad.
Yeah, I think, well, I'd also say that the Dark Dominion's getting less value because of the Chognar, and because he's also not getting damage, because he doesn't have a lot of damage and he's not tanky, there is an issue there for RRQ, and also Coop has not been able to rotate into these fights at a really good timing, despite how much pressure he was able to put in the lane. That's going to be Red Wish forward, tries to put his hands together, throws down the Nature's Affinity. He is surviving there, but he will go down. Auto attack shield. No, he survives. There's a shock into the backline. You think What Noise would be able to do a significant amount of damage. His cleaves could have been good, but the side of Buriram is just too tanky, and they've managed to build this into a massive bruiser comp between Romeo, J Gods, and Mons, and they just walk at him.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision there for Coop, because there was a huge clumped up team there for him to consistently heal on, but then there was also the Slims in the back dealing massive damage to him. So who do you aim the seeds toward? In the end, Toon was just playing that extremely aggressively because he had that Dark Blessing. We saw it actually get activated there as he took fatal damage, but obviously came back to life. So that was absolutely huge. RRQ unable to take down the carry because of that extra life.
I'm trying to figure out where L9 finds an opportunity, and I actually think that I'm just like, no, Chognar counters Mina unless Mina is super tanky, and the Mina is not super tanky. The Mina can't survive.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, though. Mons is doing a great job. He's building almost 100% damage here, with the exception of, you know, the little bit of HP on the Frosty's Revenge and the armor on the Barris Agony. But other than that, he's building a lot of just your straight normal magic damage items. He's not going for anything purely defensive here, yet he's staying alive. 0 deaths, 4 kills, 7 assists. Got that execute on him to do even more, and even at I would say a paltry 8.2k gold compared to the rest of his team, he's doing perfectly fine and not perishing.
I mean, I actually think he's fairly tanky, but as we say that, he does get hooked. Chaos Protection comes out, eats a power surge. Instantly, Winoise is destroyed, gets completely obliterated. I think Mons is in a good position. Every single one of his items comes with a bit of health, and that is starting to stack up as he builds his fourth. Coop is going to get hit by the Malleus. That's going to be a
Ooh,
good
Coop.
Redwood Rush to keep them in there, and Coop is doing an amazing job. He just needs to help them find one kill, manages to do so. Redwood rushes away. L9 left out to dry. He actually managed to get away from that, but it is top and mid high ground towers that are destroyed. And I think Mons is fine because there's 800 health on the Frosties. There's armor on the Barrett. There's about 1200 health coming off of the Orb of the Magi. He's building what looks like a soaring aura. He's deceptively tanky. We do see Norton putting a little bit of pressure on the Joe. Good Dark Dominion forward. That's the first one they've been able to get anything out of. Chaos Protection is there, but it's a little bit late. Oh my god, J-Gods is destroying them. Toon as well. L9 on the run. Doesn't have anything left. Winoise was off clearing the wave. Maybe if he had been there, Toon would have been popped and gone down. But maybe they end this game with just two people. They've got the Drake on their side. They just need to step forward,
Shock?
get onto the minion. Shock goes in. Angelic
Splendor.
Splendor coming in to back them up. Romeo is there. J-Gods is on the core. That's going to be GG going over to Buriram.
Yeah, they could not kill Toon, and they couldn't really kill Mons either, and that was the game. If you can't kill their de facto mage, and you can't kill their jungler ADC marksman, I know that's a bit redundant, but then you're not going to have a good time, and certainly RRQ did not have a good time after those early game pickoffs. So, Buriram, they take game number 1. They're able to get that first step towards going to the playoffs. And I gotta say, RRQ, they were decisive at some points, but not coordinated at other points. I feel like Coop didn't really do a bad job initiating a lot of those team fights, but if he's tanking 5 heroes, I feel like Sadman and Norton should get a lot more done there. And it felt like they were taking opportunities in individual fights, which is why they got up in the damage, but when it really came down to it and they had to be there to support their tanks, they weren't really there.
No, there wasn't enough to actually get the job done, and things honestly started to fall apart. What did his build end up being? Mons, it was Orb of the Magi, Frosty's Revenge, Barrett to Agony. It looks like he was working on Soaring Aura, something like that.
Look at this too, just completely baiting him out. Toon played a great Slims there and just managed to narrowly escape death every single time and provide that damage for his side. That last fight that we saw could have gone the way of RRQ, but he barely escaped the Dark Dominion at the last moment, and no one could get on him. I think that's the biggest deal, right? No one actually got on Toons. It was probably Nornon's job, or maybe even Coop's, but yeah, they just weren't able to get it done.
I feel like it was like a combination. You wanted Winoise to go in there and disrupt, open up a lane for Norton to get in there.
Well, look at this. Look at
this.
I mean,
Coop would have been there as his dive buddy. Coop would have gone in with him with a Redwood Rush and been able to kind of help facilitate that. And this fight, it looked really good. Like, that's the kind of Dark Dominion you're looking for. Everybody's there, but then they start to just get shredded by Toon and J-Gods, and Winoise was over off clearing the side lane. I think if he'd been with them, they might have, like, one cleave could have killed Toon, and then that might have turned for their favor.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. For some reason, I was looking at Sadman in those last few fights. It felt like he wasn't doing enough, but he was in there trying to do damage. It just, maybe he wasn't on the right people. I felt like he was just in the back, kind of just attacking what was in front of him, instead of perhaps challenging the more damagey characters, maybe flanking, because I know it's really not necessarily the Lindis' job to get in the back line, but that was the problem, right? Speaking of Toon, so they needed to get on him one way or another, and the team as a whole couldn't find a way.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Lindis' job isn't necessarily to hit the back line, it's to come in at angles, because she's so fast in the jungle, because she can fight really very much on the run because of what her ultimate brings to the table. Like, she can get a little bit creative in her positioning. I feel like people don't play Lindis. I think after Lindis's nerfs, teams don't. Teams were playing Lindis. Kind of. What's the best way to phrase this? Lindis
They're
was
bad at Lindis.
Lindis was a capitalizer of opportunity before. She was very fast. She was hard to pin down. She had great damage. She was bringing everything to the table. She could capitalize on the smallest opportunity. Now I think Lindis needs to be played more as we're playing a high-pace rotational strat. We're going to show up. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to invade. We're not going to sit back and farm. We're going to quickly clear the wave as fast as humanly possible, and then we are going to aggress into your jungle. We are going to catch you in rotation. And I feel like teams aren't like Lindis is a hit and run character. Player like it.
I'm looking at this draft source, and I don't know what RRQ is doing. I mentioned this. I forgot if I mentioned this to you or TJ, but this meta is a meta in which you are most likely to see teams switch their bans after a loss because there are so many heroes who are ban worthy. Now, some of them escape that distinction and then need to continue to be banned. Maybe perhaps like an Omen who can dominate the side lane, perhaps a Violet who's just oppressive and you can't really forget about. But I feel like Morning Grek is just I feel like they should be changing their bans.
I maybe would have gotten rid of Chognar if you wanted to run the Mina for L9. Or, right now, take Mina Chognar, give yourself that tool. I did a little bit of quick math on the Chognar. While building what is very much a still a solidly damaging build, he had about 10,000 plus health. Without, he had about 10,000 plus health. With fully stacked Aura of the Magi, with Ferocity's Revenge, with Barris Agony, with Soaring Aura, and being at level 15 as a Chognar. Like, that is fairly tanky. That brings a lot to the table, and they just took Mina and Lindis again. Not bad picks, but if Buriram just takes Chognar right now, Mina's gonna run into a similar situation. I would hope that they would give L9 some more space to get tanky, or at least have somebody else play that. But there's the Chognar.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was responding to someone in chat looking for patch notes since we mentioned the Lindis nurse.
Those were a while ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, so to my point, if they want to play that mid lane Chognar again, I've just it's solidly tanky. The damage is there. It has a little bit of an issue towards the beginning of the game, but eventually it starts to become difficult to kill. You get that Barris Agony, and in that situation, I think the second item, it was Barris Agony and Orb of the Magi, taking is built up, and it started to become a problem. So the math supports Buriram's play there, and the way that build was set up, the Ebeneth, again, still a good pick. Then Talia is a different answer, and that might give them a little bit more oomph to pick out one of these characters to take care of the Aram, to maybe catch Toon in a bad position.
Yeah, the problem I have with someone like Natalia going against the Slims is that if she's sitting there as a sitting duck, he can probably get all of his attacks off. That said, like you mentioned, the amount of CC that they have here on RRQ is amazing. It's like a paradise here for Natalia. The Nature's Realm, the Dark Dominion, the Scythe to pull in heroes. That's going to be so much ability for the Natalia to get her abilities off. Now they just have to space them out so that Chognar isn't cleansing them all the time, but shouldn't be impossible. But you see that Buriram again favoring the CC immunity, and you can see why, because it's just in spades on the side of RRQ.
Yeah, I would also say that Natalia brings them just some more solid damage. We did talk about their lack of damage going forward, and I do hope that they don't. Oh, right, Superman made it through. I hope that they put the L9 on the Mina. If they're gonna put L9 on the Mina, give them a little bit more opportunity to get tanky, or to find those, or to make some plays towards the earlier portion of the game where they're not looking at the big setup team fights, so that the Chognar are just like, hi, cool, you Dark Dominion, Chaos Protection. Do some skirmishing towards the earlier portion of the game. The Superman definitely facilitates that. And they opened up pretty well in the last game, just taking Abyssal Dragon after Abyssal Dragon. Keep that pacing up, and you're in a good spot. They just, they got caught by a great flank from Toon. So if RRQ can't recover from one playoff Buriram should take this in a 2-0 because they'll find an opportunity.
I do like the RRQ draft a lot better this time around, though. I think they have the tools in order to make things happen, and the Raz just wasn't doing enough. I felt like you need to be playing Memark's level Raz in order to justify the pick, or maybe not Memark's level, but very good Raz, and it just wasn't really there. It was just kind of a lot of power surges, kind of how I like to play Raz, and just not get in there at all.
I feel like he didn't have enough damage to really go in and execute, and that goes back to the way they played Lindis in the previous game. They played it pretty safe, other than when they went into aggress for Abyssal Dragon. It was like, okay, Abyssal Dragon's up, we were gonna take this, we were gonna position for this, and then they would be like, okay, let's go back into our jungle, let's clear things out, let's do things safely. And I think they should have kept up the heat, because then Raz is catching people moving through the jungle alongside a Lindis, alongside a Mina. Like Mina Lindis, Raz catches out anybody, most characters solo. They're probably dead.
Well, Mina will have a slightly better time this game because she's not going to be going against constant tanks in her face. So hopefully that'll work out a little bit better for their side. That said, it is still pretty annoying for her as it's Arum, Chognar, Kilgrath. Doesn't feel the greatest. Not Arum, sorry. Not Arum. It is Arum. I'm getting confused. I was looking at both sides at the same time. In any case, it's going to be annoying, but hopefully they can get something done on the side of RRQ. For the side of Buriram, just kind of do what you did last game, except you have a real mage now. And
I'm a real boy now.
So, okay, interesting. Kilgrath just goes for the just in case pull onto the golem. If there was an invade, there was not. Now there seems to be that, and Coop is just really messing around with J-Gods. And this is the matchup that Coop wanted to have here, because he can just go back and heal in the bushes. Well, that's not an option here for J-Gods. He has to interact with the minions and opposing heroes to make that happen. Look, Coop is just on him. He's like, no free soup for you, or lunch, whatever it's called.
It's no soup for you, and there is no free lunch. Two different euphemisms. Two very different morals there.
It's okay. I combine them. It all makes sense. Just think about it.
But if you think about the meanings, there's some value there. Anyways, I'm specifically interested in J. I'm just looking at watching that quick exchange at level 1. J-Gods has got a full page of, I want to say, purple lifesteal in his Arcana. I'm dead positive, and oh god, Norton just flickered.
Ooh, well, that could be interesting. They do have 4 members in the area, though Superman does back off.
I don't know about this timing. Okay, Buriram, I think they've realized that they do want to be down by this Abyssal Dragon. I guess they were just checking out what was going on, and they seem to be on RRQ's game. The RRQ is going to make a real heyday out of this. They won it the first time. That's a lot of burst quickly onto the Abyssal Dragon. J-God's taking some damage coming from Salmon. That's a big stun that comes out. Everybody is wrapped around L9. Can they get enough damage? It's going to be stolen away by Toon, and now damage onto Coop. Liliana goes forward. Mons taking a couple of hits there. Joe does need to get out of there, but Sandman manages to pick him off. Just waited for him to walk out of the brush. And
not really. He actually had the vision on him.
Oh, he had the vision.
Yeah, because Lindis.
I thought he was waiting for the auto attack. Either way, that was a dead Chognar. He wasn't really getting out of there.
Yeah, he was sitting in the bush thinking he was okay, and then Lindis kept attacking him. He's like, "Oh, I guess I better get out of here." And it didn't end well for him. So that's a win for RRQ, though Buriram was able to secure the Abyssal Dragon. So the gold is somewhat even here. Not too bad. Toon's going to go ahead and... Did he? Okay, he just jumped forward. He didn't actually pop his ultimate there. Seemed like it. He was very, very excited, as Slims often looks like when he's jumping forward into the fray.
Okay, so Toon didn't finish his bow, and that bugs me. It's just like, it's the last 2 camps he took were inefficiently not building stacks. Like, come on, man. Unless that was a panic, like, pickup in the middle, or unless that was a pickup in the middle of the fight to get the extra attack speed because he thought it would help him get some kills. That is a possibility. We do see L9 looking for an angle. They are going to get the vision. No pull goes through. Toon now going to put some pressure onto Coop. Coop uses the Nature's Affinity. It doesn't get a whole lot of value uncaged out from Romeo, but he's been dropped to half health. Both teams will call it a wash and start moving out onto the rest of the map. But that minor bit of inefficiency, it irks me.
You wanted that 25% immediately rather than having to build those stacks.
Stacks, man. Always about the stacks. Joe gonna run the L9. Throws out a... Wait, is he gonna go back in? He is gonna get stunned. I mean, if that were not a Chagdar, I think they might have committed to that. But we are seeing RRQ definitely be a little bit more aggressive than we did last game.
This could be trouble. I think Mon sniffs it out here as he did see members go into that bush, I believe. So not going to go ahead and try to rotate this dangerous way. But that means that RRQ is starting to move onto the dragon. They don't see it. Speaking of Buriram, they take it pretty much uncontested here. Though the gold is somewhat even. They maintain a 500 to 600 gold lead. So things are still okay for both sides. Both sides need to continue to push and try to take the lead away as this golem is taken here. Looks like J-Gods is going to be able to get out as the Chaos Protection is there. Wanoy is doing so much work pushing back too, and they let the Kill God get away, and he knocks them all back. A huge slap, and Coop pops the Nature's Realm, excuse me, and that is 3 kills with the snap of your finger.
An RRQ clap back. That didn't take very long for Coop to find a good opportunity. When Noise, I mean, that Superman's starting to definitely look ban-worthy with the way when Noise just set that up. Now we're starting to see Sandman move around the map, play this Lindis a little bit more aggressively. If they can keep up the pace, if they can get themselves the mid tower, then we'll see. Like you said it, Jekyll and Hyde. This is definitely a more at least confident RRQ.
This looks so different though. Remember when Coop went in last game and nothing happened, there was no follow-up? Now when he goes in, Superman can be that extra dive hero. The Natalia can absolutely demolish people instead of having to rely on power surge after power surge. And just everything is completely different in this game. Everything Coop does turns into gold rather than gilded stuff in the last game.
I saw where you were going with that. I appreciate the attempt. So we are seeing a good response for Buriram. The setup traps from RRQ, they had members towards the mid lane. If they'd been able to get that wave up to the tower, I definitely think we would have seen pressure as well as a possible dive. They've now rotated Nornan around the map so that he can just kind of pick up whatever farm is possible. This buff is going to go over to Toon. Uncage comes out, slows them down, stuns up Sandman. But the members of Buriram, they got what they came for. Best for them to leave. Nice fadeaway spear from Toon with Noise. Looking for an opportunity, but he'll just get the wave pushed up. Now we see a mild collapse in by the members of RRQ, all towards this side of the map. But again, wave cleared out pretty quickly. No opportunity for them to make anything happen. So it's either gank bottom or Abyssal Dragon time.
Yeah, Kickoff I thought might have aggressed onto the tower, but decided to back off. And speaking of backing off, they're going to go ahead and let RRQ take this dragon once more. That does extend RRQ's lead to 2,300-ish, which starts to get a bit scary if you are Buriram. Once you start getting to the 2,000-3,000 range, you are definitely behind and can maybe have trouble taking team fights. But speaking of taking team fights, never mind, that wasn't even a team fight. Toon just gets evaporated as the 4-man collapse comes down, and so does this tower.
Yeah, over-aggressive position. They were going to lose somebody. Noise does go in. He's going to get snared up. Chaos Protection comes out. Romeo is incredibly low. In comes Coop, gets him with the shoulder check, picks up one more, has now picked up his Frost Cape. He's going to keep J-Gods there. He's happy to take a slap box with J-Gods. He'll die at the end of the day if he were to take that as a full fight. Dark Dominion forward. J-Gods takes another clap to the face, but he'll be fine. And Sandman sneaking around behind the tower. I don't know if you want to do that, friend.
The Natalia this game has been doing so much damage. She evaporated 2 heroes there with her lethal rays, and it's just so much different from last game where where Nornan really couldn't do a whole lot. She's just evaporating people left and right, destroying them with her combination of abilities. And it's leaving Buriram just unable to deal with this combination. The Superman goes in, knocks him back. Coop is there to keep him in place, and so is Nornan. And then all of a sudden, members just disappear into thin air.
So now time for RRQ to just really lay on the pressure. This is a good chance for them to get themselves into a position to win this game. Toon stepping forward, but nobody wants to go far enough to actually pick a fight with Coop, so he'll walk away from that. And now the question becomes, can Buriram find a team fight where Toon and J-Gods just absolutely obliterate someone? Sandman has been pretty good on these jungle objectives, and there's been enough forward pressure for the team to just let him take what he wants. So Darkslayer over to RRQ, and they've gotten basically every major objective on the map.
So RRQ does have a substantial lead. I think their biggest lead here is in towers. As far as gold is concerned, it is about 6,000. So it's high enough that they will win an even team fight, but if they get out of position and they overextend, they could lose multiple members. So RRQ still has to be careful, and Buriram has to be vigilant to see those opportunities arise.
It's going to come down to a clutch snare. You get a clutch snare into Nornan or Sandman, and things open up pretty quickly. Can't clump up because you're asking for Nornan to just absolutely skewer you with that laser. And yeah, J-Gods got to be careful. He's not at OP status just yet. Joe's gonna step forward, tries to get out some damage. He's gonna drop the chaos protection. We'll survive for a moment. Noise goes pretty deep. That's gonna be the snare on the Coop. But they don't actually have enough damage to finish the job. And they
the tower though.
Get him low, but oh man, members of RRQ, they do need to be very careful. Coop, I actually think will die here. No, one auto attack would have been enough from Toon, but he doesn't feel confident to step up and land it. Natalia's getting out huge amounts of damage. Joe drops low. And they're basically just need to walk up and breathe on that tower. And hello, Sandman, you'll pick up another major objective. Who cares about the curse?
So Lindis isn't the greatest at burning down towers. It seems like she would, because it seems like she's constantly auto attacking, but that's actually her ultimate going off constantly. She did build. Oh, J-Gods, what are you doing?
J-Gods, he's gone in there. He's popped. He stole the Abyssal Dragon. That's huge for them. Now is an opportunity for them to fight. They're gonna slow it down.
What?
Oh, Bergram, you don't back off after that. You take a hard team fight, because, like, Sandman's confused. They can't take it. They're just standing there on the,
Well, Coop got the Dark Blessing, so there's that. Yeah. Sandman probably should have taken that. That's just...
Wait, can you pick that up if you didn't secure the buff?
Coop took it.
Did he?
Yep, it's set on the screen.
Oh, I thought they were standing over it because they were like, wait, we can't take this. We can't take this because we didn't get it. Oh, man, I feel like that should not be stealable. I feel like that should be tied to the buff.
Well, it goes to Coop, which he does get in there, so it will be somewhat useful, though if he's about to die, then...
It does make him a less desirable target to hit, so maybe they're playing on the idea that if he has that he's... just even you don't want to hit him at all.
He can bait him even harder, because usually you have to pop Nature's Realm when you're above half health, or else you're just going to die, because it takes a little while to start the cast animation. But now he can kind of bait it out and be like extremely low and get that burst of health and start just healing right back to full. So I actually kind of want to see that, just have him completely bait out the damage onto him, and then he just gets right back up there.
I don't know, I'm still back on J-Gods with that steal. I was like, what is J-Gods thinking? He's just going to go in and die solo. Steals the buff. What? Just completely out-punish Sadman. And I don't even call him Sandman. Sadman.
He is the Sandman, who is Sadman. But that's okay, because it feels Batman.
Oh, that was horrific. 10 out of 10,
though. That was a perfect haha moment. In any case, there's no real objectives on the map, which means that RRQ is just going to try to squeeze Buriram out of here. There's no more buff. And do you know how long this Dark Blessing lasts? Because I know it wears off after a while.
I don't remember the exact timing. It won't be that much longer. I want to say it's going to last maybe another 30 seconds or so. But, I mean, item-wise, J-Gods are starting to get up there. He's starting to get a little bit of tanky. Might be able to survive through a well-timed team fight. Toon is coming up on last item, probably building into his Blade of Eternity, so he'll have that soon. Romeo's a little bit of a concern in terms of tank line. Also, Mons really doesn't have that much damage. He really needs one more item for the scaling coming off the Hecate's Diadem to really get something going. So I don't know. I think Bury Ram's opportunity was right after that steal. I think they could have taken that fight. Winoise is going to step forward and just puts a little bit of fear into Toon. Actually got him to pop the ultimate, so that's a resource down for a short period of time.
I'm not sure that either team knows what they're trying to accomplish here.
I think
But
RRQ
that
feel they
said,
can.
installing this out for RRQ here is looking to be a good decision for them because the Dark Slayer is coming up in 1 second. So they can take that. They've been farming up just as well as Buriram has, basically maintaining that 6,000 gold lead. Once they take this, they can use the Drake to push on the top lane, probably be good for them. As you saw, Mons did pick up the Tome of the Reaper, so that's somewhat useful, though she's going to have to constantly get those shining lights off in order to make that decent against the likes of Yabaneth, who actually can probably heal even if 50% is gone. He probably heals just fine. And also because the Dark Blessing is here. Excuse me, the buff from the Dark Slayer. So here we go, going to be pushing onto this top lane. The minions are going down somewhat quickly, especially with the Shining Light coming out consistently. But they're just looking to protect this Drake and see if they can't have it to take down the tower itself. But good job by Buriram allowing the members to tank the damage instead of the tower. They're stepping forward at the exact right time. As you saw the split screen, there was a little bit of skirmish between
Ooh, Dark Dominion.
Ooh, yeah, wasn't able to pick up anything though, unfortunately for them. And this, wow, they're doing such a great job getting members under. They're gonna go in and try to get an engage here. Norton getting a lot of damage off. L9's going extremely low, but so are the members of BRAW here, and they're going down. Deep dive by Winoise, trying to secure the tower, but in the end, the tower is not taken. He does secure a kill for that, so that's perfectly fine. They do have the 2-for-1 on their side. Toon popped his ultimate once more, trying to hold off members here. There is no minion wave. It's coming in a little while, but ooh, this is dicey.
Yeah, the loss of that Dark Dominion, RRQ might have been able to just end things there. That's gonna be some damage. J-Gods goes forward. He's starting to do his job. Gets a significant amount of damage in. Dark Dominion comes out. L9 very low. Nobody has gone down. Natural Affinity being used by Coop, but Toon has kind of reached that terrifying stage where as a full build Slims, he can put in massive amounts of damage. He will survive. The members of Prayer Rammer survive, and they are proving that despite the plays from RRQ, despite the opportunities and how good their objective control is, Buriram might just be the better team when it comes to team fighting and just playing it cool. And now they're going to step forward. Slow into Norton. They do have the snare. They just need to get a little bit of damage in there. Toon was off on the side. He was hitting the dragon. That was not what he needed to be doing. Winoise goes forward. Sadman will be able to pick up one kill. L9 with the double pull. Toon looking to heal up off of the camp. They will be able to get down Romeo, and now Coop over the wall. Comes out with the clap. Uses the natural affinity. There's going to be another spear, but it doesn't connect on anything. Here comes Winoise. Knocks them back. Keeps them there. Good play from Mons to keep himself alive a little bit longer, but he will go down. And the 5 members of RRQ are here. I don't really think they need to use the minions. I really think they could end this. I think they've suddenly realized this as Coop stands there in just stoic control of what's going on.
Trying to distract.
Joe? No, Joe, you can't do it, Joe. I believe in you to a degree, but that would have been too impressive. So the members of RRQ will finish out this game. They'll sacrifice their health bars, but they will get it at the end of the day.
Minion wave's coming too, right? No, just kidding. Oh, that was interesting. J-Gods tried to save it for them after that tower hold. I can't believe he took out all the minions below that tower amongst 3 members, dodging out all of the Natalia spells there. That was amazing. He just jumped into 3 people, took out all the minions. The tower took 0 damage at that point, and he too took 0 damage. Got out of there, and then they took the fight. It looked like they caught out Norton. In comes the snare, and J-Gods tried to finish it off, but got caught by multiple members. It seemed like J-Gods was the only one trying to make things happen, and unfortunately, he sacrificed his life for the cause, and it didn't work out.
No, the members of Buriram, they couldn't. They are showing that despite so in last game, RRQ was playing their strategy, good, decent pressure to the objective, and then they backed off. This time, RRQ they stopped backing off. They kept the pressure on, and
Well,
Buriram
the
never.
things that they did were working too, because
Yeah,
before
no,
Coop
no,
would
for
run
sure. Like
in.
when Noise was in way better position to make plays, like this right here, this opened up, a grand opportunity for them. They managed to get some
Oh
solid
my
kills.
god!
That double push clap back from Coop was freaking perfect. Um,
Look at
and
this
then just
lethal race.
another
Look at this lethal
opportunity.
race.
Yeah,
Just like
just laser,
everyone's dead.
laser. It
Oh my
worked out
goodness.
really really well. But
Toon
like so,
Nornan,
yeah,
he should
Toon.
be dead. Nornan should be dead.
Yeah, Norton should
Uh,
have died. Toon should have been paying attention to that. It just ended up being pretty bad for them. But the thing is, in the game that Burger Ram won, they won off of finding advantage because of a well timed flank from Toon. He just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And in this game, RRQ didn't give them that opportunity, and RRQ just kind of kept the pressure on. And so the question becomes, does Buriram need to adjust their draft significantly, and
I think
do they
so.
need do they really just need to come up with a new way to put pressure on the map?
Wait, who did they ban? Didn't they ban Natalia and Superman the first game?
They banned game one. They banned Violet, Crickneck, Superman.
Hmm.
So they let the Superman through and banned Xenial.
Has Toon? I'm forgetting. Has there's so many teams here, and I can't keep track of all the lower level teams. But did Toon ever play Crickneck? I don't remember.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He played it up against TDC. Wait, no, that was banned. That was banned by Buriram. Both games. So up against TDC, they banned it both times, and Toon ended up playing Slims, and he brought us the Dirty Wisp pick.
But okay, do you know if the Taiwan patch is live on the Thailand server? Although I guess you didn't know about the Taiwan patch,
Nope.
so because
I didn't even know there was a Taiwan patch.
okay,
That's something.
they buffed Scorching Wind for marksman, and they nerfed Soul Waver for marksman. So
Is that live?
I don't know if it's live on Thailand. That's what I'm saying.
Because if that's what they're playing on, now everything makes sense. Because I didn't know that they did that. And that explains all of the goddamn Soul Reavers we've been seeing that
Or
have been
Scorching
tilted,
Winds, yeah.
or Scorching Winds over Soul Reavers. Because yeah, if that got a buff, sure, maybe that makes a bunch of sense. But like,
Yeah,
man,
it would. Well, that's why I want to know, because we need to get to the bottom of this. Because it was
Yeah,
not. If it's been live on Taiwan since last Friday, which we've
I feel like they play on. I feel like they play on live.
as the writer for Samurai Gamers, I feel like I dropped the ball. Didn't realize that, and we're working on the article. We're about like 3/4 the way done. It'll be up tomorrow, but the translation plus our thoughts on the changes. But basically, it's a pretty big nerf to Violet because she has no use for Scorching Wind, whereas the other marksmen do. So yeah, Violet, like Scorching Wind or Soul Reaver is like so bad for Violet now, or so bad for marksman now. It's kind of a joke.
I feel like Violet, though, as a marksman, does fine in the lane. She did better in the jungle, but you can honestly take her into a lane.
Right, but she's like
if you protect her right.
Right, but that's the thing. It's a good thing because you didn't want to just completely nerf her into the ground. She can still do stuff in the lane, but she's not gonna be this oppressive jungler that farms up immediately and is just chunking people throughout the game from a million miles away. So I think it's good.
Yeah, no, it makes her have early game issues, because if you still go double crit, like if you still go Clavisancti Slicks thing, you use a tactical fire, and that is going to be a guaranteed crit. Like that, the chances of you critting on that or the follow up auto attack is more than 50%. So like you're pretty much good there, and you don't need to run the Frost Cape, chunking control version of her. You can run her a little bit more glass cannon. I think she'll be fine. So
These teams,
this Morin ban. It's like that wisp.
Well,
It's like a
they're
wisp pick
banning the
to
same
me.
things over and over. I just don't. Could
The
you?
problem is it worked for them. If they had lost that last match, you'd be able to be like, that doesn't work. You
Well, the
guys need to
same
adapt.
is Buriram that afraid of Crickneck? I can see the Violet because Violet
Yeah,
can
no,
be
they're
insane.
terrified of Crickneck.
I do support the Superman ban this time over what was it, Xenial?
Yeah.
So I think this is fine.
Or she's gonna run it back.
Well, they better secure Natalia Yabaneth this next. Well, I guess they need Amina too. This is tough. I
Yeah,
think
if I'm Burham, I take
Yabaneth.
Yeboneth.
There you go. Take it away from him. The Yeboneth was a huge. Coop is really good in Yeboneth. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. And in that first game, it seemed insane the things he was doing, but he was doing what he needed to do in order to let his team take team fights. But his team just wasn't following up correctly, or they didn't have the tools because of the wrong heroes. So
I mean, Marja.
Marja's okay, but you're still allowing them to get.
Coop to have Yeboneth.
I'm hemming and hawing on this one because Marja she can't.
I'm okay with this because that they've just brought themselves so much team fight potential and rotational potential that I don't care as much about what Yeboneth is going to do because I think Marja will match in the lane perfectly fine.
Right. Yeah, she can deal with the Yeboneth a lot better, and she has this CC immunity, quote unquote, because she's untargetable during her ultimate, which allows her to deal with the competition.
I would not lean the Kilgroth again. Yeah, if Buriram takes the Kilgroth, I'd be highly concerned. I think Toon Slims is perfectly fine. That's a reasonable pick. I would take Slim's Chognar here and then leave your mid lane pick to Mon.
I'd pick the Yeboneth, to be honest.
But then you're going to support Xenial?
Yeah.
Or mid lane Marja? You can mid lane Marja.
Yeah, either. I think it would,
taking the Chognar, balance out against the Mina, and try and play the team fights a little bit better. The Jinnar, though, is a wee bit wild. And, yeah.
I was going to say, it's kind of hard to run at the Natalia, because she just kind of kills you.
I mean, if you get under her guard, like if you get within melee range before she manages to combo you, then, you're under her guard and you win.
You need to dash to her. You can't run at her. You can't just be like, I'm coming. She's like, I see you.
Everybody runs at her from 5 different directions.
Yeah, she can only kill one.
It's
you know what? I was thinking the exact same thing before you said that.
What is that phrase? He's only got enough bullets for one of us.
Or enough lasers.
He's only got enough spells for one of us, Ben. Charge! just run him down. Okay, we're seeing the Ryoma to match the Marja.
To have that slight ability to get to the backline, this is where you go in your Irie rant. I'll let you go ahead.
I do usually go on my Irie rant here, and I'm like, but like, hold on a minute, let me just talk to you for a second.
Well, the thing is, I actually agree with you this time. In past instances, I was like, okay, the DM was fine, but in this case, if the role of this 5th character is going to be that of Superman, is going to be similar to that of Superman, then pick the Irie. Like in this case, I agree with you.
I think they're picking it to match the lane. I think they're picking it to match J Gods, in the lane, and then Buriram take Irie, go support Xenial, which I actually really like as an adaptation because now you've got 2 really solid time leaders. I don't know the Irie into Yeboneth matchup, but I hazard that Irie don't really care too much. Like, she's fine kind of in that matchup. She's not going to get caught.
Yeah.
So
Irie,
she's just going to poke.
If she can't kill the person, in lane, she just clears the wave and moves on, and you can't catch her. So
yeah. So I honestly that works out for me. I mean, I'm very much excuse me, sir. Do you have a minute to speak about the Church of Irie? And just like, I think that she brings far more to the table, and I don't know why people just suddenly stopped playing her. But
yeah, I felt like in a lot of situations when we were talking about that, when we were theory crafting, that Ryoma was perfectly fine. And yeah, he's perfectly fine here, but considering the role, like they have the exact same draft, and considering what Superman was trying to do every single time, we know exactly what they're going for. And in that
Yeah.
light, it feels like IRU was so much better. But it goes to the side of Buriram, and they have a very interesting comp where people are in kind of their off roles in a way. We're gonna see Marja mid, which is not always where she is. She likes to be in the side lane. And then we're going to see, obviously, the Irie in her normal position. And possibly the, oh, Xenial is the support here. Wait,
Yeah,
Chognar's
sports
going... Right, but someone, okay. Someone had
Yeah,
to be in a
Romeo on the
weird...
side lane and Chagnar mid.
Okay, so Xenial's the support, Chognar's mid, Marja's side lane where she normally is. Okay, this...
Yeah.
Makes a little bit of sense. But that said, Joe just gets absolutely chunked here. He's going to go ahead and try to mess around with Sadman. We're going to keep an eye on these side lanes and see how this works out. L9 being a bit touchy. Wow. Toon is just on the ball. He stuns out Nornan in the bot. He gets the slow on the L9. Oh, but Joe takes a big set of those Arcane Spirits to his face, and they have to back off. That's a big deal. You know, you land one of those Arcane Spirits in the early game. If Joe wasn't so low, they could have pursued that. But, 20 seconds earlier, Nornan hit those Arcane Spirits, and that prevented her from dying. That's Natalia's best defense, is just kill people. If they can't kill you, if they're already dead. That's her. She's like...
Exactly. Like, They don't expect you to talk. They expect you to die. They're just like lasers. If anybody gets that reference in chat, 10 out of 10.
I did not get that.
No, like I don't know why my brain went there, but like no one's gonna get that.
Ooh, the spear.
Sadman. It's like the Toon I think is warming up. with this Slims is like it took him 2 games to be able to land his shots, and now he's like he's getting in the zone. He's doing them behind the back. He's just he's throwing them from downtown, like round corners, bouncing them off walls. We are going to see Romeo making a play, going to get pressured by Coop, eat some Arcane Spirits. In goes Monza. Is going to go over to Sadman. They need to pick a target, and Coop is just absolutely just that.
My God,
Nature's Affinity. It's so powerful, and Coop has had really good timing on that to just shut down anything that Burger M wants to do.
Joe is a sad angel. He's just sitting there like, why me? Seed. Arcane Nova, Arcane Spirits. Blah. Sorry, that was my death impersonation. But yeah, Joe was not having a good time, and he's not doing so well on that support Xenial, unfortunately for him. Norton's going to go ahead and burst this down, as Natalia's are wanting.
What is this no stack life from Toon? I need to see these patch notes. Is there some new patch note that's like, you don't need to stack this jungle item anymore? Like, it doesn't stack. Like, man goes hard boots, doesn't start building stacks, is 2 to 3 stacks behind his opponent. I'm just like...
I think he's afraid of getting... I think he's afraid of not having the 68 movement speed and just being a sitting duck.
He was safely in the jungle. He had enough camps to clear that he could have done it, but he would have gotten them 2 stacks. Them 2 stacks, man. I'm just like, it's gonna be okay. So we see RRQ setting up an ambush onto Jagaz. They are going to send 4 forward. They drop down the trap to be able to slow him. Dark Dominion, he goes directly into it. Out comes the Angelic Splendor to save him with noise. Now is going to be caught. That was a good Mallory forward by Joe, but they need the CC. They needed the slow or the spear. That would have been a great collapse. And Nornan
missed.
Nornan makes this aggressive. That's going to be a chaos protection out from Mons. If they were a little bit more on top of that, they might have just killed him.
Well, Nornan... He obviously auto-aimed his lethal raise to get it out as quickly as possible, but it went off in some random direction. I think there maybe was a minion there, or maybe the monster, and that they could have both died. Both of them could have died there to Nornan, but it's just unfortunate. I think it went off. Yeah, I think it went off to the monster over there in the little cove area, but that's super unfortunate. Why does it do that? Source, tell me why does it aim for those things? Aim for the gosh darn
There
heroes.
are a large number of vision and aiming things I have issue with in this game, but we do see a good Dark Dominion 4x9. Alchemist Lethal Race, Toon taking a lot of damage, has to jump
Oh
on the wall,
my
but he's going to get
goodness.
finished off by Nornan, and now it is an opportunity for RRQ to route the aggression for Bure Ram. They can now put their pressure onto the Abyssal Dragon, continue to take this objective. I want to say that they have picked up 90% of all Abyssal Dragons spawned this
Well, they need to
series.
finish this off really quick. Okay. That, by the way, that is the both the best feeling in the world and the worst feeling in the world, depending on what side of it you're on. When you just finish them with the tip of the lethal raise, it's like when you're trying to run away, you're like, no, I was away, and then when you're Natalia, you're like, got him,
That's just one of
finished.
those visual things. Like that's the same as that weird targeting issue. Is it's just there's some visual coding things in this game that am like, I really want to see how you like quantify this coding. Like, I want to
Hitboxes.
see why you like not even just a hitbox, just like this is how this
Well,
interaction should go. And I'm like,
well, the lethal
what?
raise is pretty straightforward. I think it's as long as it says it is.
Lethal raise for sure, but I mostly mean the like the retargeting on the minion for that lethal raise.
Oh,
Pull over
oh,
by L9. Malleus does go forward. I don't know if Toon actually managed to get that. And actually, it looks like it went
Norton
on to
got it.
Norton.
Yeah.
Toon doing a little bit more damage. They use the Angelic Splendor to kind of keep him alive. That's going to be some solid crits coming
Oh,
in. It's going to be the stun, turn
arcane
around onto Joe. They
spirits.
have the slow. They don't have enough damage to be able to follow up. Romeo now looking to cut off Coop as he was rotating into that skirmish, and no one dies, but Toon continuing to stay aggressive. And where did Toon get? Toon's got that one crit room for that money crit. So that's I'm like looking at his build. I'm like, you don't have any critical strike chance, friend. So how many money crit runes are in that Arcana page?
I think that it's popular, at least among in Thailand. I'm not sure about Taiwan, to run 2 atrocity for the just the game-winning crit at the right moment, and you don't sacrifice that much damage for it. So does go for that, as we see a little bit of an invade here on the bot and top. Doma backing off here. Sadman trying to put some damage onto Romeo.
Oh, goodbye, Toon.
Oh
Goodbye,
my god.
Toon.
Coop getting the slow onto Romeo does. Oh, he gets pulled in. It gets Angelic Splendor coming over here for Joe to help him out. But the tower does go down, and RQ's continuing to control the map.
Yeah, Mons hasn't hit that damage point just yet. Romeo isn't there either, and so just the aggression from RRQ starting to mount. That's going to be
Oh
I'd
my
say
god.
that's
Joe.
aggressive, but Nornan's damage was almost enough to kill him. It doesn't really matter that was an under tower solo Dark Dominion. J Gods
J-Gods?
is going to
J-Gods?
be in the worst possible situation ever. Uses the Ryu, will be able to keep himself
Double
alive a little
flicker.
bit longer, but I mean, they wanted him bad. They weren't going to let him get away from that. He's just like, I'm going to sit in this bush. I'm a ninja. No one will catch me. Sorry, friend.
Yeah, those 2 flickers were on principle. It's like, you need to die. What was
Yeah,
that?
your audacity for sitting in this bush, man. Like, you presume too much, good sir.
Exactly.
Uh, Joe's duking it out with L9 pretty consistently. I think L9 has been in a better position the last 2 games because the team has actually had some damage to follow up on his aggression with. The fact that all he has is the Essence of the Wind is
Yeah,
fine.
just picked up Essence of the Wind. That doesn't feel great. Didn't
But
have
like
that
it's
panic
it's
button.
okay though. It's okay though because like there's enough extra there that we haven't seen him get caught solo. We haven't seen him been truly alone. Interesting to finish the Tome of the Reaper instead of the Barris Agony from Romeo. That might be affecting his damage.
Yeah.
Like health percentage, even if it's at the beginning, it's like it's always gonna scale. So I'm
And
like,
it's only for the Yebenet. Like, when he's healing, he's okay. If he's taking healing from the bush, all you have to do is attack him. It stops his healing. You're stopping healing for Nature's Realm, and just run away if he's Nature's Realming. Like, I wouldn't worry about that. So, yeah.
either way, Sadman is just pretty much an objective focused monster. I mean, I like might as well get that man a rhino a
Oh, the
blender
Wailing
bust
Blades!
and a wow,
Oh, oh my God, they're
what
getting
a setup.
chunked. Yeah, that's really good for them. Even though they didn't get the kills, they made him run back to base, which means this high ground tower might go down.
I think they'll be able to defend it. Mons can step forward. Malleus goes in. There's a
Spear?
long range spear. It hits onto a minion, so they'll be okay with that from the side of Ram. They won't end up losing the top tower.
It's
Norton gets
low,
slow,
though.
but no one there. No one there to collapse onto him. J Gods in the mid lane is going to help defend a little bit, and without the Drake, they should be fine to be able to continue to defend on high ground. But I just want to note how good Sadman is at making sure that they end up getting these objectives. It's been very impressive how good his game sense is to let them set that up every time.
Yeah, and they don't get any high ground towers, but they get 3.5. Right? They get 3 of the tier 2 towers, and they chunk the top one to half, which will go down pretty quickly if any pressure's on it. So good work here by RRQ getting a lot done, and with those towers gone, they have great map control, which means they get a free Abyssal Dragon Kratos, or Enraged Abyssal Dragon here. And they're going to properly stick it on Sadmen, Badmen, lenses.
Yeah, we should get Sadman, one of those safari hats and a big blunderbuss, and just call him a hunter.
Mm.
He's like a hunter from like Tarzan or some bad jungle documentary.
Only 6.8 gold though. I was surprised. There's only 3 tier 3
We're only
items
10
there.
minutes into the game. Like
Well,
we're
I'm
actually
comparing
not
it
that...
to his teammates Coop and
Oh.
the Wanois, but they have a ton of gold, which means yeah, Coop is going to be nigh unkillable, and Wanois is going to be dishing out that damage as well. Things are looking scary for Ram, and look at that gold difference: 8,000, 8,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the gold advantage for those two over Sadman's coming primarily off of farm. Like they've gained more waves while he's been securing the objective, which is getting gold to the whole team. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when
that's
they're
that's
in their
probably
lane and he
what
gets the Abyssal for them, you get that extra gold. The
he basically
jungler.
does it solo. Like just the pressure from RRQ has been good to a point where like no one really shows up and questions whether or not he's on that major objective or not. That's the Ghost Walk used basically off of a hook from L9. We've got J God just looking to cut the waves, find opportunities for them. Is going to sit into that brush. Does get seen. Uses one dash. Uses a second. Has not used the Ryu just yet. Uses spin back. And Coop
Snap.
just oh man, just hit him over the head with a tree branch.
He's like bonk.
Coop walked up to that man, like took him to Home Depot and gave him the 2x4 to the face. Like
Exactly.
that was Coop just showed you at a home improvement on the uncherished battlefield. Like get this man a morning home improvement talk show. Just like this is how you deal with your opponent. That's going to be a Ghost Walk forward. Angelic Splendor far enough into the back line to kind of give them some spacing, but it doesn't really matter.
My God, the
the
flicker
damage is there
forward.
with noise underneath the towers. He's going onto the core. He's going to bring down Joe. J Gods is back, but he's the lone wolf. J Gods, are you about to try and 1v5? L9 thought you were. Pops the Dark Dominion. I mean, J Gods, that was the time, man. They're all low. You had an opportunity, but they're going to start to heal themselves back up. They've got some minion waves on the way. This is going to be all the high ground towers dropping. And there's about 12 seconds before anybody else is back up.
Oh.
Maybe, especially if they kill J God's slow, Welling Blade, Spectral Ire. You
That's
are
it.
gone, sir. This should be a game going over to RRQ.
Yeah, 1 second on Mons here. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything on Chognar. They need to attack the core, but that's going to be it. RRQ takes it 2-1, and that is a massive win for them. All but eliminates Buriram from the playoff picture, because now, instead of gaining on them, they actually lose points, and they're 4 points behind RRQ. That was a huge win for them. And, Dr. Jekyll showed up just in time to be able to
just
finish
in time to
game
save
2
the
3.
day. And yeah, this will put Buriram far enough down that the only real threat to RRQ when it comes to playoffs is going to be EVOS. And that's going to mean EVOS is going to need some pretty solid games to come out. They're going to need to get a win over IT.City Bacon, which doesn't look very good for them. They still have to play Bazaar. This is part of what made Buriram's schedule so good, was the teams they had to beat some much stronger teams. And
look at this from Coop, by the way. He built Fenrir's Tooth 5th. I don't know if that was an adaptation from being so far ahead this game, but If it was, I love it because he was
Oh
already
no, no,
tanky
yeah,
enough.
that was totally being ahead. The only other item I would consider, I haven't finished doing the math on it, but I'm actually kind of a big fan of going Spear of Longinus on him because of the instances of damage he outputs for shred onto armor. I actually kind of like the idea of going that on him because it's damage, it's a little bit of health, and then you cut and you just like, oh cool, I'm gonna use Nature's Affinity and then Seeds and just like
You
permanent
keep
5-stack armor shred
you keep calling it Nature's Affinity. It's Nature's Realm.
or Nature's Realm. What is Nature's Affinity? That's his passive.
Oh, I see.
That's why I keep calling it that. Yeah, Nature's Affinity is his passive.
He's going through the bushes. It's so exciting.
He's in the bushes.
The one problem with that
My
is
mistake.
that this has fully devolved into like theory crafting, but whatever, it's fine. The only problem with that is a lot of the value in Spear of Longinus is, which is by the way, it's, I know it's weird, but that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Is that the 15% CDR is a lot of its value, and he just immediately gets Redwood Rush off of cooldown. Obviously, it's going to be useful for things like Nature's Realm, but like the fact that Redwood Rush is just always there is, it makes it a little bit less useful.
I like going as a first item. Like
Right.
you get a sick double kill and you get that first item and you're like, cool, I got CDR, I got some health, I got some extra damage, and then you go back and just the standard tank build on him and you're just like, all of the armor shred at like level 3, 4, 5, and it's just fun.
Right. Well, we'll check it out. Although recently I've been playing him with just 80 Arcana, and actually it's kind of like half. It's like a hybrid 80 hybrid. It's like
I'm
two
playing him with
thirds
80 pen and health, I think.
Yeah, I have like skewer, but then I don't have enough gold for the other 80 Arcana, so I was like, so the red and purple are both half and half.
Oh,
So it's like two thirds.
I only go red. I go red is I can't remember what it's called, but I go full red, full green, and then purple is health for him just to give him a little bit of extra tankiness, because if you've got
Oh, green.
full
Sorry.
red, full green.
So green is the only thing that I have 80 for him. Because I have skewer. In any case, that's usually enough to just wipe people out. But we're gonna have a interview with the members of RRQ, which means it's break time, and we'll see you after the break with SNCK versus EVOS, and EVOS is the only other team really that can overtake RRQ now, so they have to pick up a win versus recent upstarts SNCK. See you guys in a bit.
อะไรอย่างงี้แล้วอันนี้ขอถามนอนันละกันในเกมที่2เนี่ยเมจที่เราเลือกมาเห็นว่าเลือกเป็นนาตาย่ามาแทนแรสทำไมถึงเลือกนาตาย่าอะคะ
ครับก็อย่างแรกคือนาตาย่าเนี่ยใช้ของน้อยกว่าแรดครับลัดตัวลัดเนี่ยแหละครับคือแล้วก็ดาเมจต้นเกมเนี่ยของนาตาย่านี่มันจะเยอะมากเลยครับเยอะกว่าลัดเยอะเลยครับมันทำให้เดินเกมเร็วได้ครับ
ส่วนคนนี้นะคะเห็นเลือกลินดิสทั้ง3เกมเลยบอกข้อดีหน่อยได้ไหมว่าทำไมเราถึงเลือกลินดิสมาเล่น
ก็เติมเกมไวแล้วก็เลทมาก็แรงกว่าแครี่ตัวอื่นครับ
ก็คือเขาปรับตัวให้เกมเขาเร็วขึ้นเนอะทีมนี้
นะคะจะเป็นตัวถนัดด้วยใช่ไหมคะฝากอะไรให้แฟนๆมาในวันออฟไลน์หน่อยที่จะเจอทุกทีมเลยพวกเราด้วยนะคะไปกันหมดเลยวันที่20นี้ค่ะ
เริ่มจากนอนัน
ก็ตอนนี้น่าจะติด4ทีมชัวร์ๆแล้วครับก็อยากให้มาเชียร์วันที่20ที่เซ็นทรัลเวิลด์ครับพวกเราก็จะมาทุกคนแล้วก็ทำให้ดีที่สุดเลยครับ
ก็เหมือนนั้นครับฝากเชียร์ BF ด้วยครับ
เต็มที่นะคะฝากเชียร์ด้วยนะคะก็มาเจอพวกเราด้วยนะคะเอาเป็นว่าตอนนี้ทุกคนน่าจะอยากดูไฮไลท์สวยๆเมื่อสักครู่นี้แล้วนะคะเดี๋ยวเราไปชมไฮไลท์สวยๆนะคะกันเลย
บัดทัดบินไปเข้าตีล้อมเธอเป็นแทบตายมันจะสักแค่ไหนจะปีนขึ้นมาจะไกลเท่าไรจะรอไหมWe are the better, we are fighters. Don't call
อต้อนรับเข้าสู่ RoV Valor Pass ระบบใหม่ที่จะนำคุณไปพบกับความลับของซีเนียลและรางวัลพิเศษมากกว่า 60 ไอเทม ภายใน Valor Pass จะปรากฏคัมภีร์ 2 เล่ม คือคัมภีร์แห่งการเริ่มต้นและคัมภีร์ศักดิ์สิทธิ์ผู้เล่นสามารถปลดล็อกคัมภีร์ศักดิ์สิทธิ์ได้ด้วยการใช้ 250 คูปองและแพ็คพิ15รีเวลในราคา 490 คูปองผู้เล่นสามารถเพิ่มรีเวลของคัมภีร์ศักดิ์สิทธิ์ได้ด้วยการเพิ่มค่าผลงานซึ่งจะได้รับเมื่อทำภารกิจโดยมีทั้งภารกิจรายวันและภารกิจรายสัปดาห์และสำหรับผู้ปลดล็อกคัมภีร์ศักดิ์สิทธิ์ขั้นสูงจะสามารถทำภารกิจพิเศษได้อีกด้วยหรือผู้เล่นสามารถเพิ่มรีเวลของคัมภีร์ศักดิ์สิทธิ์ได้โดยการใช้คูปองจำนวน 50 คูปองต่อรีเวลผู้เล่นจะได้รับของรางวัลพิเศษเมื่อคัมภีร์ศักดิ์สิทธิ์รีเวลอัพเช่นสกินพิเศษทิกเก็ตมอร์ทอสเลือกรับฮีโร่1ตัวจากทั้งหมดที่กำหนดเลือกรับสกิน1สกินจากทั้งหมดที่กำหนดรูปโปรไฟล์ลิมิเต็ดสุดน่ารักเอฟเฟกต์พิเศษต่างๆภายในเกมและสกินสุดเอ็กซ์คลูซีฟArrival มูลาพิเศษถึงวันที่ 28 ตุลาคมนี้เท่านั้นนอกจากนี้ผู้เล่นที่มีเลเวลถึง 60 จะได้สิทธิพิเศษหมุนกงล้อแห่งโชคชะตาเพื่อรับของรางวัลพิเศษเพิ่มเติมแล้วพบกันเริ่ม 17 กันยายนนี้
The spirits of my ancestors guide me. You better stay out of my sights.
เอเบิลเป็นเผ่าที่คอยปกป้องพิทักษ์ผืนป่าที่ซึ่งอิฟเน็ตได้ถือกำเนิดตลอดชีวิตของอิฟเน็ตได้ฟังเรื่องราวมหัศจรรย์มากมายเกี่ยวกับโลกภายนอกผ่านการบอกเล่าของเหล่าสัตว์น้อยใหญ่เพื่อเติมเต็มความฝันอิฟเน็ตตัดสินใจออกเดินทางแม้จะมีเสียงทัดทานมากมายจากคนในเผ่าระหว่างการเดินทางอิฟเน็ตได้พบกับเผ่า Shadow Forest ซึ่งกำลังถูกรุกรานจากเหล่าอสุรกายแม้จะรักสงบแต่เขาก็ไม่อาจละทิ้งผืนป่าและพวกพ้องอิฟเน็ตตัดสินใจหยุดการเดินทางชั่วคราวผืนดินและพงไพรจะปกป้องผู้บริสุทธิ์และฝังกลบสิ่งชั่วร้าย
ยินดีต้อนรับเข้าสู่ฮีโร่สปอตไลท์วันนี้เรามาพบกับอิฟเน็ตฮีโร่ประเภทแทงอิฟเน็ตเขาคือปราการไม้ผู้แข็งแกร่งผู้ซึ่งตามหาคำตอบของตัวเองจากต้นไม้แห่งโลกแต่คำตอบที่เขาจะได้รับคืออะไรมาหาคำตอบไปพร้อมกันสกิลติดตัวคือ Natural Affinity เมื่ออิฟเน็ตเข้าสู่พุ่มไม้จะฟื้นฟู HP และมานาต่อวิโดยการฟื้นฟูจะหยุดทันทีหากเขาถูกโจมตีและเอฟเฟกต์นี้จะเพิ่มขึ้นเรื่อยๆตามเลเวลของฮีโร่ง่วงก็งีบพุ่มระวังคนมาขยุ่มให้ตื่นสกิล Wicked Taunt เมื่อใช้สกิลจะทำการยื่นแขนออกไปโจมตีสร้างความเสียหายทางกายภาพพร้อมกับลดความเร็วเคลื่อนที่ของเป้าหมายสกิลติดตัวของ Wicked Taunt หลังจากอิฟเน็ตโจมตีศัตรูโดน5 ครั้งหรือ2 ครั้งสำหรับฮีโร่สกิลนี้จะเปลี่ยนเป็นสกิล Redwood Rush ซึ่งจะพุ่งโจมตีสร้างความเสียหายทางกายภาพและผลักศัตรูถอยหลังจากนั้นตัวเองจะได้รับเกราะเพิ่มขึ้นเมื่อเก็บสแต็กจนสามารถพุ่งได้ให้พยายามดันศัตรูกลับมาทางเพื่อนหรือเน้นก่อกวนตัวสร้างความเสียหายสกิล Branching Out เมื่อใช้สกิลจะทำการยื่นมือทั้งสองข้างกวาดโจมตีศัตรูให้มารวมตัวกันตรงกลางสร้างความเสียหายทางกายภาพซึ่งหากสกิลนี้โจมตีโดนเป้าหมาย2 ตัวขึ้นไปจะสร้างโบนัสความเสียหายและทำให้เป้าหมายทั้งหมดติดสตันได้อีกด้วยสกิลนี้สามารถดันศัตรูกลับมาได้เล็กน้อยหากเล็งไปทางด้านซ้ายหรือด้านขวา Ultimate Skill Nature's Realm มื่อใช้สกิลอิฟเน็ตจะยืนนิ่งโดยจะสร้างวงเวทลดความเร็วศัตรูทั้งหมดลงพร้อมกับยิงเมล็ดพันธุ์ไปยังจุดที่กำหนดโดยสามารถเลื่อนจุดตกได้สร้างความเสียหายทางกายภาพหากโจมตีโดนศัตรูจะฟื้นฟู HP พร้อมกับทำให้ศัตรูติดสตันถ้าโดนโจมตีด้วยเมล็ดพันธุ์เกิน8ครั้งนอกจากนี้อิฟเน็ตจะได้รับเกราะทันทีเมื่อกดใช้สกิลหากใช้สกิลนี้จากในพุ่มไม้จะทำให้ได้เปรียบศัตรูเป็นอย่างมากตัวอิฟเน็ตจะมีความโดดเด่นในด้านการปั่นป่วนและรักษาตัวเองในช่วงต้นเกมอิฟเน็ตไม่จำเป็นจะต้องกลับไปเติมเลือดบ่อยเพราะเขามีสกิลติดตัวอย่าง Natural Affinity ที่ของงีบเพียงแป๊บก็กลับมาสดชื่นได้หากนำเขาไปยืนเลนมังกรจะช่วยทำให้โอกาสที่สังหารมังกรได้มีมากขึ้นหน้าที่ของอิฟเน็ตนั้นเขาสามารถปั่นป่วนและทำลายตำแหน่งของศัตรูได้ง่ายเพราะทั้ง Wicked Thorn และ Branching Out ล้วนแล้วแต่เป็นสกิล CC ทั้งนั้นนอกจากนี้มันยังสร้างความเสียหายได้มากหากใช้ใส่เป้าหมายที่ไม่ทนวัชพืชส่วนตัวของอิฟเน็ตเองนั้นก็สามารถยืนคนในทีมไฟได้นานพอตัวเลยทีเดียวแต่ถ้าพูดถึงไม้เด็ดของเขาแล้วก็ต้องมาดูที่สกิล Nature Realสกิลสุดโหดที่จะเพิ่มอายุขัยของเขาให้นานขึ้นไปอีกในทีมไฟนอกจากนี้เขายังสามารถโฟกัสโจมตีศัตรูตัวใดตัวหนึ่งให้ติดสตันด้วยการเคลื่อนเป้าตามจัดว่าเป็นสกิลที่สร้างความเสียหายและปั่นป่วนศัตรูได้เป็นอย่างดีจนฝั่งตรงข้ามอยากจะได้อยากฆ่าย่าโดยรวมแล้วอิฟเน็ตนั้นจะไม่ทำให้ผู้เล่นสายแทงผิดหวังในความสามารถของเขาอย่างแน่นอนอย่าลืมกดติดตามเพื่อชมวิดีโอใหม่และไลฟ์สดก่อนใคร
Time to go home.
สวัสดีค่ะกลับมาพบกันอีกแล้วนะคะสำหรับการแข่งขัน ROV Pro League ซีซั่น 2 Presented by Move Edge คู่ที่ 2 ของเราในวันนี้ใครกันคะ
EVOS เดบิวต์นะคะเจอกับสปอนเซอร์ Unofficial คู่คิสค่ะตอนนี้นะคะเราก็ได้ตัวแทนจาก EVOS เดบิวต์นะคะซึ่งก็คือโค้ชค่ะขอเชิญโค้ชมาสัมภาษณ์เลยค่ะ
เชิญเลยค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
ค่ะก่อนอื่นให้แนะนำตัวก่อนดีกว่าค่ะ
ครับชื่อปั๊มนะครับตอนนี้เป็นโค้ชของ EVOS เดบิวต์นะครับ
โค้ชปั๊มถามโค้ชปั๊มนิดนึงดีกว่าค่ะเมื่อสักครู่นี้นะคะ RRQ เขาก็เก็บคะแนนไปได้2แต้มเท่ากับว่าในแมตช์นี้เราก็พลาดไม่ได้แล้วเหมือนกันตอนนี้โค้ชปั๊มรู้สึกยังไงบ้างคะ
ก็แค่รู้สึกว่าต้องพยายามเพิ่มเป็น2เท่าครับจากที่ตอนนี้ก็พยายามอยู่แล้วก็น่าจะต้องพยายามเพิ่มให้มากกว่าเดิม
ก็ต้องกดดันเนาะเพราะว่าจี้กันมาติดๆเลยนะคะอย่างเมื่อวานนี้นะคะดูฟอร์มการเล่นของสปอนเซอร์ Unofficial Cookies แล้วทางเราเนี่ยได้เตรียมตัวรับมือกับเขายังไงบ้างคะ
ก็ได้ทำการบ้านมาสำหรับวันนี้ก็ค่อนข้างดีครับ
ก็เตรียมแผนดราฟตัวอะไรอย่างงี้
ใช่ครับ
ถ้างั้นนะคะตอนนี้เราให้โค้ชปั๊มพูดเชิญชวนแฟนๆให้มาเชียร์ในวันที่20หน่อยดีกว่าค่ะเพราะยังไงในวันที่20ตุลาคมนี้นะคะทั้ง8ทีมก็จะไปกับเราด้วยรวมถึงพวกเรา2คนด้วยยังไงก็ให้โค้ชพูดเชิญชวนหน่อยดีกว่าค่ะ
ครับก็มาเจอนะครับวันที่20ยังไงจะเป็นทีมอะไรเข้าไปรอบ4ทีมก็มันน่าจะสนุกทุกทีมครับเพราะว่าดูจากฟอร์มการเล่นของแต่ละทีมนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นทีมอื่นหรืออาจจะไม่ใช่ทีมผมก็น่าจะสนุกทุกทีมนะครับก็ใครที่เล่น RV ก็ควรไปครับ
แล้วในงานก็มีกิจกรรมหลากหลายด้วยนะคะแล้วก็ไม่มีค่าใช้จ่ายด้วย
อย่างมากเลยพลาดไม่ได้เลยนะคะ
เอาเป็นว่าตอนนี้น่าจะพร้อมแล้วนะคะแล้วเราพวกเราไปเจอกันในเกม
ครั้งหนึ่งเราเคยแตกต่างมุมมองต่างที่มาต่างประสบการณ์แต่วันนี้เราทุกคนต่างมีหัวใจเดียวกันโลกของ e-sports ที่ค่าของประสบการณ์ไม่ได้ถูกกำหนดด้วยอายุเพราะเราคือกีฬาที่ไม่ว่าผู้เล่นคือใครเราทุกคนต่างเท่าเทียมกัน แห่งชัยชนะ ที่จะดังก้องอยู่ในความทรงจำตลอดไป คุณพร้อมหรือยัง ROV Pro League Season 2 Presented by TrueMove Edge
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the ROV Pro League. I am D2, and with me is the Source. Again, this is the $180,000 Thai Arena Valor Pro League. And we have our next game between EVOS debut and sponsor Neolition Cool Kids, who are still in last place despite defeating the #1 team in the league yesterday. They're playing mostly for pride to get out of that last place spot, but EVOS, on the other hand, they want to catch up to RRQ, who won earlier today. So this match is certainly important for them, and sponsor Neolution, they want to play spoiler.
Yeah, I don't know if SNCK is gonna be able to.
They did it yesterday.
They did it yesterday, and lightning can strike twice, but will it though?
Hey, whenever you have a guy on your team named Jeezy, anything can happen.
I mean, that could be said of a lot of names that exist in esports. Like, for those very, very unaware, in the NBA 2K league for NBA 2K esports, there's a player named Palm Oil Please. So anything can happen.
Hey,
just saying.
Well, okay, any name can win, but it certainly helps.
Any name can win. No,
it certainly helps to have a name like Jeezy.
It can bring things up. Whereas, like, I mean, Drury, JR, Cream, Guy, Mona Lisa, like those are solid esports names. They're easy to say, and they
are you
don't
saying
sound
that
like
Jeezy is?
No, it is easy to say, but it is also, makes me think about a SoundCloud rapper. So, I'm just saying.
Hey, this SoundCloud rapper just defeated the #1 team in the league yesterday.
Did he though, or did the number one team in the league defeat themselves? That to me, this will tell. This will answer.
Stop turning the league into an existential crisis, okay?
No. But this game will tell us if SNCK are actually here to play. If them beating Alpha Red isn't just Alpha Red underperforming. If they've brought some new strategies to the table. If they've just cleaned up their play. If they're starting to gel together as a team. This right here is their answer to that question.
By the way, what does the 2 dots on top? What is that called again? Like an umlaut? Is that what that's called?
The umlaut.
Is that what that's called? The 2 dots.
The 2 dots.
Because both Drewy and Guy have them. Although, well, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. Even Mona Lisa has like a little
yes,
flair.
that is what an umlaut is. That is the 2 dot. And
but why? But why? Just to look weird?
It changed. No, it changed. It's supposed to change the sound.
Yeah, it does, but I don't think you. The W is already changing the sound of the E, unless it's like Drewy. Isn't this supposed to be like an oo sound? So it's already oo. So what's the point?
Well, because English is stupid.
No, that's a German thing.
Yeah, but English is a Germanic language.
Yeah, but in English you don't put. There's no way that Drewy knows enough English or German or what have you to put that there. They just want to look cool and have little stylish.
I mean,
things. There's no way.
I don't know, man. I don't know because that actually makes linguistic sense because the word "drew" doesn't actually it's an exception.
Who's pronouncing it Drewy?
No, but it's technically an exception in English. So like that's actually legitimately clever.
I am not.
Throw that umlaut in there.
No. That was purely because he wanted some dots in his name. Okay,
I'm sure he wanted some dots or he wanted to just get his name, but like I don't know. That's some next level. Like actually makes sense.
I'm kicking out the guess. Anyway, Superman, Omen, Valheim, pretty normal bands here. Lindis. They gave away Violet. I think this is just to open up to SNCK the dichotomy of whether they want to go for Mina or Violet. And they're thinking about it. The Eboneth makes sense. The Jinnar is a bit different. But I suppose if SNCK likes to run that Death Ball lineup.
Did they run Jinnar yesterday?
My head is like so mixed up with all these teams that I don't remember.
If you don't remember, it probably didn't happen.
No, I don't remember like anything from any game. they're
okay, so it probably did happen. Anyways, Chogner going to be the first pick to kind of dissuade the Mina Malik this early EVOS. Do you know what you're about to do? You may be getting Violet, but
they might not.
You're asking for that Marja Clat back.
I really want SNCK to do it. Just like snap pick the Marja. That would be so amazing.
Let's see how quick they are. They've spent 3 seconds so far. Let's see if they get it in the first 10.
I don't know if they will. I don't know if they even will pick her. It's just we've only seen the Marja from the very top teams, and SNCK, despite their win yesterday, aren't quite yet a top team. I think they drafted like fine. They didn't completely outdraft Alpha Red. It was just kind of an okay draft, and like you alluded to, Alpha Red just kind of didn't do well themselves.
Well, Alpha Red's been underperforming. That does appear to have been the case in the last couple of days, but SNCK would have also needed to be able to capitalize on said underperformance. So we can't say that they didn't bring anything to the table. Oh, come on, Aria. I don't know if that Raz is worth it.
It seems like they forgot that Violet was a thing. They're like, why didn't they ban Violet? Like, we banned meta characters. Why didn't they ban meta heroes? What's going on?
Haha, the welcome to Draft Math 101.
If you don't ban anything, then those heroes are available.
Yeah, if you don't ban it, they can play it.
Wow.
It's just people forget. It's so surprising, like just in general, the amount of people who don't understand the basics of draft math. There are 3 OPs, and I am first pick. I want to leave up all 3 so I can take, or I want to ban 1 so that I can take 1 and they get 1.
I think that SNCK, first of all, I don't think they're thinking of Marja at all. But outside of that, I think that they're planning on taking either Greg, Mina, or Crushed. Speaking of Greg, So I think that SNCK was like, well, they're not going to take a Mina or Crest because we have a Chognar. So now we have Mina or Crest to be able to pick. Grak is still reasonable because if you can force a Chaos Protection out from just a hook, that's really nice. Obviously, you can preempt the hook by using your first ability, which I continuously forget what it's called. But you can... That's the good thing about Chognar. You can kind of just get in there and block the hook for your team using Energy Surge.
Okay.
So there is that.
Crushed.
Yeah, so the Crest is good. The Crest... I really like the Crest here. They use the Metamorphosis. Chognar just kind of gets in there, prevents any retaliation, like a World Devourer, and Slims goes to town. Zuka. Okay, we have not seen Zuka in a long time. Long time. But he can do work.
I can't say I remember all of Zuka's ability names. I'm totally not Googling that now.
Just go to samuraigamers.com.
Welcome to the Google. I already had the general heroes page up. I just like it.
Pain on a Stick,
anyways.
Panda Chariot, and Skyfall.
Panda Chariot, that's the one that always gets me.
Also, the Chi is not to be overlooked. He glows and he does lots more damage. And they're going to counter that with Ryoma, so I imagine they're going to be across each other from the lane. And that's going to be a damage battle, to be sure. I don't think really that Malik can deal with Zuka. Zuka just kind of just chunks him and runs away.
No, he definitely can't. That's a real good way to give the Zuka like two free kills, a 4-minute rank breaker, and then to just run over Mona Lisa and Drewy. And
this is interesting though, because the EVO.City does have a pretty thick front line there to for the Crixie and the Violet to just rain hellfire from super far away. It's really on SNCK to... Well, it's on both teams, obviously, to execute, but I think that SNCK needs to be the aggressors and jump and be coordinated and pounce on the Metamorphosis. Otherwise, they're going to take way too much poke damage.
Yeah, and this is also... So, we kind of saw with Buriram taking the loss to RRQ, Buriram's chances of making it to the playoffs have now been, hit to slim to none. This is EVOS' chance. If EVOS can beat SNCK, then...
Well, they have to, because this is...
according
to the rankings, this is their easiest matchup remaining.
Yes, they should win this, but like it starts to enter the realm of if they don't, then they're just going to be out.
EVOS plays Bacon and Bazaar next week. They have to win this. EVOS has to win, or else there's no way. Okay, so that said, EVOS is going to start invading here. They're waiting in the bush for this to spawn here. Get the hook. Can they burn this down that quickly? And they're all able to do that. That's actually really nice here from EVOS. And they're in perfect position to go back and rotate to their own camp. And speaking of their own camp, Malik has that guarded. So good work here from EVOS. Although Malik might miss his wave if he continues to stay here. But
yeah, that might be a sacrifice you're willing to make.
Oh,
but
no, he gets the full wave.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get the last hit, but he gets the full wave. Violet is clearing super fast. And this is going great.
This is a lot of resources put into the Violet and done well. My biggest concern for Cream is just that he's going to get the crap kicked out of him because it's Azuka, but we'll see how that goes. JR.
I don't like Zuka running away there because he was always going to take that cleave. I know I'm kind of backtracking on the thing that we just saw, but Zuka had the chi. When you see him glowing like that, he has chi, which means he does more damage with everything. He just has more attack damage. And he just kind of walked away and let him get get cleaved. So I'm not convinced yet with Kinesis' ability to duel here.
Yeah, he's going to need to show just some very, very good play. I mean, it's possible he can't automatic, but Oreo will get knocked up, will take a bunch of damage. Mona Lisa comes in, finishes the job, and that is a Violet who is 3 buffs to 1 up against the jungle opponent, has now picked up the first blood, is looking to be able to take the dragon. That's going to be the hook in from Guy. He's going to get onto G easy, and it was straight easy as Mona Lisa picks up a secondary kill, is now so far ahead. I mean, you talk about how you don't want that Violet to be super, super far ahead. You talk about how powerful she can be. Oh, dear merciful heaven. They're looking for another kill. They put the hook on Oreo. They get him again. This one goes over to Drury. Out comes the Moonfall. And that is 3 kills into the hands of EVOS. Basically in an instant. All of the jungle camps going over to Mona Lisa. Could even realistically... Okay, no. Slims did get it. Slims did go grab... Nongti did go grab his Might Golem because that's already gone. Ooh, Kinesis with the dive. So that's step 1 to being able to kind of bring things back, working on the rank breaker. So maybe the Zuka play is a little bit better than we thought.
We're starting to figure out why teams are banning Greg. Because okay, just I don't care what you have to say. The point is that if everyone looks like this in Thailand, then you can see why they're terrified of him. Greg,
well,
by
he's
the
dead
way,
now.
Yeah, well, he flickers away, he gets away.
Whoa.
Oh, it gets the hook anyway. Nongti, the World of Valor is going to slow him down, and down he goes. The retaliation is real, and this is just going so poorly. 2,000 gold lead here for EVOS.
I hate it when one player makes God plays on a hero that I think is hit or miss, underwhelming, and is only of value when it works, and when it doesn't, falls completely apart, and they make some God tier play and land literally every hook imaginable. I really hate it when that happens, because the point isn't that Grok isn't good. The point is that Grok is all or nothing. And right now, he's everything.
He's a niche pick, to be sure, but he's filling that niche to perfection at the moment, and EVOS TFU is walking right all over SNCK at the moment. It all started with Violet getting immediately to 4 before Slims even know what hit him. He's like, what? Okay, my teammates are dying, what's going on? Zuka trying to make something happen. Actually does. Just jumps all over Drury here. Guy trying to get the kill back. Will a tower shot kill him? It does indeed. And they're going to pick up that kill. SNCK aggressing onto this Abyssal Dragon. And it looks like EVOS is not going to contest at all, which is a good decision by them. Because they get stuff on the rest of the map, and they're perfectly fine.
Yeah, they're content to yield that. Mona Lisa is in just an absurd position. At 4 minutes, had finished Soul Reaver and had finished Boots, so basically on track to just destroy them. Had plenty of stacks. I wanted to say had 5 stacks just from thinking about how much he had rotated through the jungle, so there's that additional damage. Green put some pressure onto PHR, and we are...
that's not a good sign. One moment, guys. Oh, it caught up to live for some reason. That's weird. I usually run this on a delay, so this kind of thing doesn't happen. But it might just have stalled out, actually. I believe it has.
So the stream is dead. Rip the stream.
Yeah, I think the stream is actually dead.
That's unfortunate.
1 second, guys. Okay, well, it's back up on a different thing. Okay, we're going to have to catch up. 1 second. The stream that I was on just completely stopped working. But we will... I'm going to just rewind it to around where we were. Then hopefully things will be okay.
Well, things escalated to a degree. Some kills had to have happened.
We'll rewind it. We're gonna be 30 seconds back instead of...
Alright, cool. So we're...
Huh? Oh, what is happening? Why does it keep stopping at this point? Maybe I need to skip ahead.
Difficulty on their end?
No, like... Oh, maybe it was on their end, actually. Because, like, when I skipped to, like, closer to the start... Okay, we're going to have to skip a little bit. Because for some reason, the stream, like, every single time at that timestamp, it just gets messed up. In any case, here we go. Things are chugging along just fine. As you saw earlier, the tower just got dropped there by Violet. The Abyssal Dragon's coming up, so things are all hunky-dory. And one more tower goes down. 3 towers to 0 here for EVO's debut. And they're going to go ahead and try to pick up the Abyssal Dragon.
So EVOS, they end up giving up one objective, but they're still in pretty good position. PHR, I mean, you can think about that, friend, but without a punish on hand, that seems like an ill-advised decision. They will answer back with a tower up in the top lane, courtesy of Kinesis. And I mean, Kinesis is keeping a pace as Alzuka's aim to do, to the point where he could show up and he could just absolutely destroy somebody if they're not careful.
Yeah, he's really the only one keeping them in the game.
I was about to say, guy gets the hook. It doesn't result in anything, but I was like, Guy, you don't have that sixth sense. Your spidey senses are not tingling. You don't know he's there. That's going to be Kinesis drop down to half health. We'll see whether or not Guy can land another hook onto G-Easy. PHR is in the brush. That's going to be a good metamorphosis to slow them down. The shock used by Cream, just one, probably close the gap, but two, to be able to rejoin his team as fast as he possibly can. The shield will not save him. Double kill going over to G-Easy, and SNCK will start their rebuttal.
Yeah, that was just the Malik being completely out of position. Cream was taking shots from Nong T with the might buff on him, so he was getting basically kited backwards, had to shock just to get away, and that meant he got collapsed on by the other side of the team. And as good as EVOS looked, they let him right back into the game here. The gold situation is nearly tied, and all that they have going for them is that tower advantage, which is actually not... That's actually gone. They have even towers now, so forget what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, very quick turnaround by SNCK to just kind of, just off of one really good play. And
well, Kinesis, it's all about Kinesis. He's been keeping them in this. He every time he's had the chance, he's been jumping on people. He was a little bit strangely afraid of the Malik, but everyone else he's just been jumping on. And speaking of jumping on, they're getting on top of this Dark Slayer. Let's see if EVOS is wise to it. They are on the other side of the map, particularly the Violet, who's not really close at all. Drui's going to check the bush, but that means they're going to be too late. JR's not going to make it in time, and there's the Dark Slayer. All of a sudden, SNCK is making things happen, and with the map opened up like this, Metamorphosis stands to have a bigger impact than it did in the early game.
I can only hazard that SNCK before just didn't have the decisiveness to make plays. And they've suddenly gained that. Not necessarily that their skill or power level has been increased as a team, that they've suddenly gotten just a world better, but they look more decisive. The moment they managed to find those two kills, they were like, okay, take these towers, push up the waves, go over to Darkslayer, time everything out. The opponent's going to have to answer bottom or lose the tower to the minion wave. We managed to get a major objective. Like, it looks a lot cleaner. We'll see. Actually, it looks like that was a ultimate use. No, just the ultimate from JR. There were just some other circles. Actually, no. Oreo used Chaos Protection. That's what I saw. Kinesis goes in, hits Drury, gets a lot of damage on him. The Moonfall is out. JR taking a bunch of damage. Great hook by Guy. Manages to pick Kinesis out. He takes out the Playmaker. He takes out the Factor. There's a lot of pressure still in the bottom half of the map as the Drake has been spawned. And... we enter the pause zone once again.
I don't know why it's being weird. It keeps catching up to live for some reason, and I don't know why. Okay, we're going like 40 seconds back. Sorry, guys. Hopefully it doesn't catch up again. Hopefully the stream is actually fine. Anyway, you go. I'm just gonna look at the other stream to see what's going on.
What happened 40 seconds ago?
Well,
all right, they took an Abyssal Dragon. All right, they took Abyssal Dragon and they set up with the bottom lane push. Well, what can I talk about in the meantime? Items. Violet is building Rank Breaker, which no, don't do it anymore, Mona Lisa, not worth it. Building into Omni Arms, which is 50-50. It is like
we could just look at this instant replay instead. Although
instant replay.
I think this...
I mean, this is the fight we did just see. Kinesis, that looked like a good play, but I think the biggest issue was he wasn't willing to follow Drew. If he'd been willing to follow Drew, he probably would have killed him and then gone into the bush, and it would have been harder to land the hook.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think that they are having technical delays. Or technical issues. And there's something wrong with the stream as it is being transferred over to YouTube.
We're gonna try to skip ahead like 2 minutes if that's okay. For some reason, every time I switch back to one stream and then I switch back to the other one and it doesn't work anymore. We're gonna go ahead up quite a bit here.
All right, what do we got? What do we got? No new towers have gone down, so it's basically just been positioning. Teams have been building up more items. We've got what look like two Fenrir's Tooth being built by those Darkslayer laners. The crit is now being built up by Mona Lisa, so a little bit behind in the slims when it comes to the crit game, but we'll technically catch up at some point.
Oreo takes out Malak.
Wait, where? Oh. I didn't realize that had happened.
It came up on the screen. I was just looking at the other thing and he died. Anyway, Oreo gets away with his energy surge, and in comes a big stun onto Drury. Tries to get the power surge, but not unable to connect. But that said, they are able to get this tower here. Eventually. As Juicy's taking that damage. Chaos Protection comes out, but Oreo really only saving himself there. They're going to rotate over to this second tower on the top side. Kinesis is going to go ahead and take that down. No buffs at the moment for either team. They're just pushing this down with pressure, which is strange to think about because there was only one death and they only have 1,000 gold lead. It was about even a moment ago. So EVOS playing passive once again. SNCK trying to take it to them at the moment as they're leaning on their slims to do massive damage here.
Yeah, but that Fenrir's Tooth. I mean, the Ryoma could get them if they're out of position, but Kinesis, he could just drop a target. JR sniffs him out, throws a Welling Blade into the brush, and takes away a jungle camp. But seriously, I'm more scared of Azuka with a Fenrir's than I am of a Ryoma.
Well, yeah, because he just jumps in there, gets that Skyfall, and you are out of there. Especially because he can jump on you. He can literally jump on you with that Skyfall. And that's something that Ryoma really can't do. He only has that one dash to his name, and that's usually his escape. Whereas Azuka jumps in there, kills, gets out. He is very squishy, but other than that, he's perfectly fine. I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't know how it catches up to being live when I was literally 2 minutes behind. Or 1 minute behind.
It must just not be advancing.
No, but when I have it on a different stream in advance, maybe I should just keep it live. Maybe it's just getting mad at me for not having it be live. I don't know.
Possible.
Like, no.
It'll be fine.
No having delays for you.
We'll do it live. We're doing a live team.
And this is what happens when you do it live. It just stops. Fantastic.
We're not doing it live, team.
Oh my god. Wait, is it this? It might be actually this stream this time. Is that 1328, right? Yeah, it actually might be the stream this time because it keeps stopping at 1328.
So the stream is down?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
That's unfortunate. We'll have to... Oy. So... Do we just come back tomorrow for some GCS and hope their stream is better?
Maybe. Is it just me? Can you go to the site? Hold on, I'll give you the link.
Yeah, let me take a look. No, it's the same.
Oh no, it skipped forward. Okay, went forward. We're good now. It skipped over to 15 minutes for some reason. All of a sudden. Okay. I guess we're doing it. Nope, just kidding. It hates me. It. Anytime I do anything, every time I look at it.
I just got it to skip forward to 15 minutes, and we'll see if it breaks on me. But I mean, at the end of the day, if it just refuses to cooperate with you, we're just not in a good day. Yeah, it's breaking down for me at the same time. So this is an issue going on with the YouTube.
Either
stream.
YouTube or them or something. I don't.
Yeah, something's breaking down with the YouTube stream to the point where we can't really do anything about it.
Okay, this is weird. When I go to 1 minute behind, it's at 12 minutes when it should be at like 14 minutes because it's at like late 15 minutes here or on the actual stream. I mean the game timer. I mean, so like the YouTube timer is not like synced with the actual timer. It's very weird. We're gonna try to make this work. We're about a minute and a half behind. This is what we were looking at before.
But isn't it just gonna hop ahead a couple steps really fast?
That's what it was doing, yeah, when it was live. That's what it was doing a moment ago. We'll see. We'll try to make this work. It's been weird, for certain. That said, there's 100,000 people in Thailand watching on YouTube, so I bet they're just as frustrated as we are.
Chat is disabled for this live stream. I wonder why.
Wait, it just skipped ahead, didn't it? Or am I crazy? Okay, we're at 13 minutes. We're gonna keep a hawk's eye on this. On this
let's try.
game
So
timer.
13:07. Things have been very back and forth. Not a lot has happened in that time, except for SNCK picking up some additional kills, some more items being finished, but not a whole
They do have
lot
a
has
gold
transpired.
lead. Before they were pretty much tied and pushing in for some reason, but now they have an actual significant gold lead. And by significant, I mean it makes a difference, not that it's like big.
Right, just jump. We just jumped to 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, and now 15:48. Yeah, we keep jumping. Well, I think my solution is just to deal with it.
Okay.
We will. Oh, hello, Metamorphosis. Out. Oh my God! There goes the shock. World Devourer. Oh my God! We're going onto the top high ground tower. 3 people are dead. In comes the shock, and the game is over.
GG.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
Who won? Wait, who was winning? SNCK was winning. Yes.
SNCK.
Yeah, 9-10, they won. Winners. Fun. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I don't even know what happened in like a third of the game, but it's fine. SNCK won. Like EVOS dreams of.
It was the big Metamorphosis that
won
the game.
Are dying. Yeah, no, that was a solid meta, and with every victory that SNCKs, the more dreams they crush.
Well, not necessarily. The only way they crush EVOS' dream is if they prevent them from getting 2 points. So, because SNCK's points don't matter. SNCK's points don't matter.
SNCK's points don't matter, but EVOS do, and taking map losses is going to be difficult when they're coming up against RRQ in positioning wise.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't know what to do, guys. We're just gonna lag through this stream as best we can. Or if it gets too bad, we'll have to shut it down. But what can you do?
Yeah.
Hey, it's the casters. He's making hand motions. This is the Metamorphosis.
That's
and
the
then
wave.
The shock. By the way, what wins between a Skyfall and a Moonfall?
Skyfall.
It's true. In the game, it does win. Although in real life, which would win? How can the sky possibly fall?
For the sky to technically fall, it would be the atmosphere crushing down on the planet. So that would wreck the entire planet simultaneously from all angles. Whereas the moon falling into the Earth would wreck the Earth, would wreck a portion of the Earth beyond recognition, but the ash clouds.
Well, it depends on how gently it hit. If it just like slammed into it super fast, I think
if it hits it at all, it's just donezo. Because like that's gonna wreck our atmosphere like straight up, and then 2, that like the thing is like absolutely massive. If it's moving at any amount of speed at any rate, like once the gravity starts to pull it in, just the sheer force of gravity, that's enough momentum to smack it in the Earth at enough speed to cause some massive damage. Probably hit a volcano somewhere.
What was that last part? Why does the volcano matter? Anyway, we're into our draft. We're lagging into our draft now.
A volcano's gonna add a bunch of ash to the like when meteor showers come in, like they create a bunch of ash, but they usually are likely to hit something or cause some kind of tectonic shift that causes either tsunamis, earthquakes, or volcanoes to erupt, or tsunamis and earthquakes and then volcanoes erupt. Like it all comes back to that dinosaur style extinction. Anyway.
Was
now that we're
Malak
done,
alive during the dinosaurs? is the question.
Good point.
Pass on that one. Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
Anyway, Crash
Let's say
Ban, I am for. It looks like. Okay. It looks like the Jinnar ban from last time from EVOS was to prevent this kind of death ball style, wipe out your team type of play coming from SNCK, but they forgot about the crushed. And so now they're correctly banning out the crushed. Meanwhile, SNCK bans out the Greg, and this time I can understand it a little bit better because last game was just kind of a joke, even though they lost.
Yeah, that's a fair ban. They shouldn't have lost.
Well, they won.
I really don't think.
Well, they won, but the Greg was doing lots of crazy things in the early game. So.
No. I mean, Evo shouldn't have lost. I feel like Evo shouldn't have lost momentum there. Like, you had a Violet who was that fed.
EVOS has the. I mean, I call RRQ the Jekyll and Hyde team, but that's because between games they're weird. But for EVOS, they're up and down in the over the course of a single game. And yeah, sometimes I feel like they should be winning and they lose. This is basically what happens whenever I try to watch EVOS, when it feels like they're supposed to win, but they just absolutely don't. In any case, the Lindis comes out first here.
I mean, strictly speaking, that's fine.
SNCK seems to know what they're doing as far as drafts are concerned. We wanted them to pick the Marja, but other than that, they're kind of bringing it here.
I don't know.
Although it is pretty standard. It is pretty standard.
Yeah.
Though. But as far as the Mina Chognar, but Evo is letting this happen.
I guess they're okay with it.
Well, they shouldn't be okay with it because this is how they lost last game. They
shouldn't be okay with it, but no. Go back to the Chognar. No. Don't play Slims. Slims is not the answer. Slims is not the answer, and even if he is, this is not when you pick it.
Yeah, because they already have a Lindis. This makes no sense. Okay, no, SNCK, if you go for Slims,
SNCK, no.
I take back everything if you pick... Oh. Faked
straight
out.
Up trolling.
Just faked us all out.
Straight up trolling. Yeah, no, had they done that, it'd be like, you actually don't know how to draft at all. Like, you completely don't know how to draft. Guys, come on.
They trolled all of us. By the way, SNCK has some very young players in their team. I can just see them in there being like, haha, got him.
Got him. I mean, EVOS can grab the MNF. Had actually made it through in this scenario. Yeah, SNCK. Violet was good. Violet was fine. Just
double marksman.
Facilitate the. No. I would. SNCK can totally take the Violet again. I just don't. When you have a situation like that, don't build rank breaker. You don't need it.
No, EVOS was Violet.
All right. God, this is I'm thinking about. I'm like, no,
they switch sides.
Losing.
They switch sides. Yeah.
Not even just that they switched sides. Like, my brain's like, no, SNCK, they lost. There's no way they won. They lost.
I don't blame you. For some reason, I am exhausted right now, and I don't know why.
We lost all that momentum.
That last game was just killed us.
The lag. The lag killed our momentum.
Oh my goodness. Well, Liliana and Yebeneth are very nice picks here. Let's see if the Violet on the side of SNCK can do as much work as was done by EVOS in the beginning of the first game. I like the...
Yeah, don't pick Flash. I feel like Flash is...
I'm not sure why they can't just go for the Raz again.
Yeah, Raz played fine.
Although, to be fair, if they're going to be Dark Dominating, then they need to have some sort of... Oh, hello?
Valdem?
That's...
Look at that laughter. Look at that laughter. They're like, we killed someone. And those guys are just like, the hell are they up to?
Violet quadruple support. Let's go.
No. Probably Valdem in a more of a tanky bruiser role. He's the hard initiation. Mina's the follow up.
He doesn't have hard initiation though. He has a run at you, And if it misses, he's a sitting duck.
Yeah, and so like it's fine.
I'm
It's
excited to
fine.
see this in a perverse sort of way. Like this is not.
Yeah, you want to watch the train wreck. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. In comes lumber. I don't know why any. Okay, thank you. I was about to. Are they gonna troll us again and go back to lumber? Anyway, I don't like lumber in any circumstance over Alice because it doesn't make sense to me. Because Alice is strictly better as far as a protect the carry goes. These are Earth Splitter, but you just, yeah, you'd rather just have the hizzy fit. In any case, I'm going on about a hero that we're not going to see in this game unless SNCK.
No. They're gonna pick a mage. They're gonna pick.
They might
I'd
not.
actually
Just
be
put Chognar in mid. Good.
No, not with this composition. Give yourself some stopping power. Get the Tulin.
I'm really not liking, by the way, the Xenial support. It's just not working out too well. Diao-chan.
Oh boy.
Oh! Hello. We have a Diao-chan Baldum.
Flip him into the root and kill him. And like that's the strat here. Like the strat here is like it's all about the team fight. It's all about that flicker, that blizzard flicker combo.
We have all the CC. Oh my goodness, this is going to be.
It's like Highlandus.
Great.
This is a no-go zone. Like this place is quarantined. There's police tape around it. Yeah, there's dudes in hazmat suits. Like this is a no-Lindus zone.
By the way, Diao-chan's getting buffed in the next patch.
Oh god, no.
It's gonna be fun. She actually might rise up because she's getting the Crixie treatment where they put a lot of more damage into her base damage for her chilling.
She doesn't need better early game.
That's what they say.
Like that's not her problem. Like
okay,
her early game is fine.
All right. Well, we see the roles being delineated out here with Xenial and Mina being on those dedicated support roles with the Windstones. And let's see how this all plays out. Good thing is we're not having any more lag issues. Knock on wood. Oreo with the pull in guy taking a little bit of damage from Jeezy. By the way, why is the Ice Queen in the bathing suit?
Hot summer.
Yeah.
She wants to be where it's warm because she has to spend all of her time in the cold. I don't know, man. Like, I don't have all the answers for why all the the skin choices are made by the developers. They make some wild balance decisions, like buffing her early game, which is not what makes her not good.
They also increase the duration of how long she marks.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually not that is a fair buff. I can live with that one. I can't live with her just getting raw more damage in the early game. Like her problem is she's an immobile mage.
Well,
that is why she dies.
All right. Well, we're quite a bit into this game here, as we see a little bit of a push onto this bottom lane. PHR really can't deal with JR there. It's just not a lineup. I know they're both nature affiliated, but it's not a matchup he likes at all. He's, first of all, not a great DS laner in the first place, or a solo laner, I should say. And on top of that, Ibaneth is the premier solo laner. As we get ready.
Who's gonna walk in this brush? Oh, that is. Mona Lisa had the right idea there. Gets a little bit closer, would have gone down. PHR at about half health, so that is a significant concern for them. This is going to be a burst fight between Nongti and Mona Lisa, and I don't know who wins this outright.
Well, Nongti needs to start chunking the opponent rather than the dragon with her tactical part. Looks like they're going to give it up. Nongti's already moved on, I think. No, she's coming back.
No, she comes back. That's gonna be the pullback in JR. Just such a huge amount of space. They get
Diamond
control
just
of
gets this freeze, but GZ goes down for it. That was a terrible fight for SNCK, and they get absolutely punished for it as Kinesis goes down. They try to take the Sage buff, take a lot of damage in the meantime, though, and go ahead and steal one more monster. I don't know what happened there. Or I don't know why. Sorry, I know what happened. I don't know why it happened. Because EVOS debut, they went in. They had the ultimates, right? And then
I think
JR
Nongti just got greedy. I think Nongti just got greedy and thought he could walk away and walk back, and then EVOS just
No. I'm talking about afterward. So
I'm
talking about afterward. So Nongti walked away, walked back. They didn't get it. That's fine. Sometimes you don't get it. Then out came both the Nature's Realm and the Angelic Splendor. That's 2 ultimates used there. So at that point, as SNCK, you walk away and you say, okay, we take the rest of the map. They don't have their Angelic Splendor. They can't get back to the lanes as quickly. Maybe we could catch them out. But perhaps they thought that, no, well, since they wasted their ults, we can take this fight again. But they got completely caught out there, particularly GZ. And she went down for a single freeze. And that's not where you want to be. And that's why people don't pick Diaochan, by the way. And, oh, well, Flicker into the Dark Dominion. Lots of damage coming in. Into comes the Angelic Splendor. Blizzard goes out as well. Cream trying to get out of here. Gets the heal. He's going to get out nice and easy. Speaking of which, Jeezy sitting around. Diamond Dust comes out. Guy taking some damage. But no follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, the setup was from them was decent. There wasn't enough to get the job done. They needed a little bit more damage. And, yeah, Kinesis needs to back up. And this looks like EVOS are making
maybe
a
not
bit
dead.
of a...
They can take it. Maybe. One more shot. There you go.
This right here is EVOS being like, okay, I don't know what we were thinking last game, but we're going to pick this one up. Because this has been pretty solid aggression. They could always throw it back.
Well, it's on principle, right? Like, they picked Diaochan, Baldum. And Diaochan's not the worst, but the Baldum pick, like, you saw... Part of the reason why they couldn't even contest the Abyssal is because PHR was half health by the time anything began. And why is that? Because he's getting crushed in his lane. Speaking of which, a little bit of aggression here coming out. The Dark Dominion comes out and the freeze! In comes the Angelic Splendor. Can he stay alive long enough to pop the Nature's Realm? He does stay alive long enough, but he's going to get snatched in to that Wild Prison. Able to get out though. And is that why they picked it up? Just so they could Wild Prison the... That? That doesn't seem like a...
No, that's not a particularly winning strategy, but it doesn't help that Drury just found GZ in a bush and was like, "Hi, immobile mage, you can't go anywhere. You're dead."
You just... it doesn't help anything, though. You just run away. It's the exact same... I don't...
No, I agree. The Baldum's just not bringing a whole lot to the table.
Even without... Like, okay, you trade ults, fine. The rest of his kit's better than the rest of your kit. So what's the point?
I think they felt confident after that win and got a little cocky. And
I think it's the opposite. I think they overthought it. They're like, we found this new strat. We can Wild Prison the Nature's Realm.
No, they were laughing. I think that they were cocky.
No, they were laughing because they're like, who picks Valor, right? No, we found the answer. And it was like one of those things where it's half childish, half like, maybe this will work. I've been inside the series.
I mean, let's see if they do it again. Let's see if they try and make the same play. Let's see if that's their response to the Ebeneth.
I think the response to the Ebeneth is to ban him out. And...
Well, that's for cowards, man. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. These guys are just looking to not be worst in the league.
Oh
they can try
goodness,
some crazy
Baldum, he's just a sitting duck. And I know this is not the most professional cast, but honestly, this is the best way to cast this game. It's a clown fiesta. Let's be real.
There's a difference between degrading a player and being realistic. The strategy in the pick is not bringing forth the results that they wanted. It's not showing anything that we knew, and the weaknesses of the strategy and the idea are being very quickly abused.
Yeah. If you have any idea why people don't pick particular heroes, this is why. SNCK went from killing them last game to now being completely run over because they can't do anything. Look at their heroes can't do things. Oh my goodness. Breaking shot, actually I thought that was going to land. Does not in the end. That's fortunate there for Oreo. Nongti is getting jumped on by Cream here. Is she going to be able to get the kill? No, the wild charge picks up Cream actually. And Nongti with a fadeaway concussor rounds gets him out there. But Peachar's going to pay for it with his life. Because once you use the wild prison, there's no escape. For you, that is. And he's
I feel like Balvin's just not naturally tanky enough. And that's weird to say when he gets so much value on armor, but it's just like he's just not tanky enough to be able to just kind of run at you.
Well, he doesn't have anything to do once he runs at you. He runs at you and then he's just kind of there. He can... What does his second ability do? Slows down their attack speed?
It's a slow. So, like, again, if he could just sit there and be tankier, it would make sense. The problem is the way damage scales in this game. It's too easy to just absolutely wreck him on entry, and the number of magic defense opportunities for him are low. So Drury just shows up, abuses him. The Ebeneth has had a good time kicking the crap out of him in general, and also has built into the Mantle of Raw. So there's that magic damage that he's not getting extra armor value on. And then you combine that with the fact that once he goes in, he does become a little bit of a sitting duck unless he gets on the target. His War Stomp, which is his second ability, can reset. So, like, there are ways he could do things. It's just, it all falls a little bit short. And picking him into this composition was kind of just asking to walk into the blender of Drury's damage and just the poke that comes out.
The biggest thing is that his wild charge is such a long cooldown. It's like 12 seconds. I think there's a patch that went live in Taiwan like about a couple weeks ago that hasn't gone live on Tencent servers yet, where it lowers the cooldown, but it's still super long. And that's the biggest problem with him. He goes in and he cannot get out for a long time.
I think if the skill hits, maybe give him a bigger cooldown reduction, or even a possible reset mechanic like they have with War Stomp. Like War Stomp also reduces the cooldown of the other skill, because it's just not bringing a whole lot forward.
He got the stationary target. Actually, he didn't get him. JR got out of there. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he dashed away and was suppressed underneath the ground, well outside attacking range.
Yeah. Oh, oy vey. What is happening this game?
No, it's just Baldwin doesn't bring enough to the table, and we are seeing EVOS just kind of be like, all right, well, we're just gonna slowly win this game, and I haven't seen anything from the members of SNCK that makes me think they're gonna be able to suddenly turn this around.
The thing is, not only is the Baldwin Wild Prison, his ultimate, very hard to hit, but even if you do hit, sometimes you prevent your own allies from killing people. And even if you do hit it and it's a perfect ult, and you set up a huge wombo combo, it doesn't always land because the timing's not always great, and people are in a weird position, and it's not always easiest to split up the team. It's hard.
A strategy like this does exist in other MOBAs. There are mass suppression and then wombo combo strategies. It just seems like Wild Prison isn't enough guaranteed skill to get the person. If it were easier to get somebody with Wild Prison, you could then more reliably train time it when they come out of the combo, or even more accurately, there are some characters who can release the skill ahead of time in other games, and then it's we've got them, wombo them now. Like, you can time that out. Like, that's good if you have the people ready to get it, and you can mess with buffs. Really mess with them.
Oh yeah, right. It does reset in the buff. Okay, I was wondering because I thought he was going to get it once the Sage Golem reappeared, because it does do damage after it goes out.
No,
it resets it, so he didn't even get the Sage buff. Oh no, Alden, why?
That's sad. Like a coding thing, like for the reset. But honestly, if Wild Prison just you just clicked it and it was just super easy to land and you just got it, it would make more sense as a skill, but it's too difficult to land, and then it's too difficult for teammates to time it. And goodbye. I mean, Jeezy's a glass cannon. Like, someone looks at him funny, he's gonna die.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? Because he hasn't gotten any blizzards off, so he's basically like Liliana, except just worse, because his abilities are harder to land. This whole game is just making me
We're
sad.
just waiting for this match to end, honestly. At least this map. Unless SNCK is going to do something wild, make some insane high ground defense, and make the comeback of the century. Like,
Nongti does have 8,000 gold, and he is doing a lot of damage.
oh, GG.
Nongti is the only thing that's going well for a sponsor, Neolution Cool Kid, at the moment.
That name, though. I'm just going to call him SNCK. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, I started it, and I couldn't not end it, so I had to keep going. See, look, he's chunking down Drury. And, oh my god, the Wild Prison doesn't matter.
That's the first step. Get some damage on the JR. In comes the Ryu, but it is so much damage. PHR is gone. The Wild Prison comes out, but there's nobody there to do anything. Nongti is caught. The minion wave is there.
Nongti killed someone.
Nongti survives, gets some damage, but nope. It's going to be GG as the AD carry made survive. Plenty of damage. Series 1-1.
The best thing about that game was it didn't lag.
It didn't lag, and it didn't last long.
That's the best thing about that game. That was a waste of time for everyone involved. And look at EVOS. They're like, yay. We did it. Oh my goodness. Look, they're laughing.
Look at the smiles. I'm telling you. They were like, no, we're going to swag on him. It's going to be great, guys.
What just happened that game? Oh my goodness. Oh, balled him. He had the second highest score. But that's because he's the only one who could do anything.
That means nothing. That means he died slightly less than everybody else.
You gotta go for that score. You glom onto it, whatever you can.
Like, that's just...
Drury was pumping out that damage. It helps that they were all sitting ducks. They were all just sitting there for Drury to just shining light them all day long. GZ just standing there. Oreo just standing there. PHR just standing there. Oh, let me hit you. Literally, the shining light ability is longer than the wild charge. And the wild charge, you have to run at them as well. It was just not good. Nongti did some stuff. That's about it, though. Good night, PHR. It was nice knowing you. That was a weird... Like, so he got the wild charge right when she was dashing away, so it didn't actually get her properly.
Yeah.
And he did actually get the wild prison off properly, but it didn't matter because JR was already fine. JR ends up dying to Nongti with the fadeaway, but... Yeah. PHR aimed every single wild prison at JR. So that was definitely their plan.
That was the strategy.
It's just like, why? The why?
It just wasn't a good strategy.
The thing is, when you use Nature's Realm, the point is to... The best use of Nature's Realm, in my opinion, well, there's two uses. One is you get in there, you're right up next to him, and you burst them down to like what, half health or what have you, and maybe they've used their dash already, or maybe you want to just slow them down really quick, right? So you use it right then, you finish them off. The other use is you just run at 3 people. They're like, why is this idiot running at us? He's 1v3. You use a couple abilities, smack people together. You use your ult, use Nature's Realm, and they're like, crap, we can't kill this guy. And then they're all of a sudden they're kind of stuck, and your team runs in and kills them, right? But the point is that you're fighting like 1v3. So you're basically stalling out the fight by using Nature's Realm. Now, what also stalls out the fight? Wild Prison. So you're basically doing what they wanted to do anyway. And allowing the rest of your team to come in and kill him. Even though that was what they wanted to do in the first place. It makes no sense. Like, the theory just like it was like a half-baked theory, basically.
Yeah, I don't blame them for trying.
I blame them for trying.
Okay.
I 100% blame them for trying.
I wasn't going to blame them for trying. I was going to blame them for being smug about it.
That too. I blame them for everything. This is why you're in last SNCK. Think about what you've done.
I feel like they were last because they played like crap for most of the season.
Well, if like maybe they drafted Delta in the first half. I don't know. I wasn't casting that part of the season.
I don't think anybody would do that many times, but anything's possible.
Well, they need to be practicing the drafts anyway, right? If we draft this, then they draft that, and sometimes people throw a curveball at you by using, it's a kind of like a chess game, right? Maybe not as complicated as a chess, but it's pretty complicated. So sometimes they throw a curveball at you. So you want to have as much practice with these drafts as possible in real life situations, even if you're not going to make the playoffs. And if you pick Dialchon Bottom, they're going to be like, oh, I guess we just win. We can just pick a normal comp that has better heroes than you. Sorry, mosquito. Couldn't mute my mic for that. It had to die.
It had to pay for its sins.
The mosquito definitely drafted Bottom. I knew.
The mosquito.
He's like, I ain't going to go for Bottom. I'm like, no, you're dead. You're dead to me.
Alright. So...
Superman banned once more.
I don't
Although
even
the
know
other
who-
team's banning Superman this time.
I don't know who wins this game.
Well,
I got nothing.
We might find out after this draft. We might find out once this draft is over.
I am a neutral party. I am impartial in this situation. I've lost my will.
Well, EVOS needs the win. And they can't throw like they did in game 1.
But that doesn't mean they're not going to. Like that's where I'm at. Like I don't have faith that EVOS is going to not throw.
I love these massive double negatives you're throwing out. It doesn't mean they're not going to, because they could not throw.
So
In any case,
I have no faith in their ability to close out the game.
I don't understand.
Because that's effectively what we saw in game 1 was just they couldn't close it out and they couldn't keep their momentum. And they gave SNCK an opportunity back into the game in a way that should have never happened. Like they just let that Zuka show up and make plays.
Is the Malik ban a throwaway ban? Like they're purposely letting certain heroes through? But disguising it as like a real ban because Malik, he's kind of okay, good, sure, fine.
With how wild some of these picks have been, I no longer feel qualified to say that I can analyze the decision making of these players. I feel like I'm gonna need a couple of days and a PhD to really get into the minds of these players.
Well, okay, here's the thing. They're banning.
But yes, no, I do think it was a throwaway ban. I think that they didn't want to. They didn't want to. They're not afraid of the Lindis, and they are looking for something specific in the one.
Mina Chognar.
It's possible.
I would definitely pick it up here, because that's what killed you in game 1. And they have the opportunity to do it now. Come on, EVOS. You know you want to.
Yibanath is also up.
Yibanath is also up. Okay, this is fine. Yibanath Chognar is great. So now what does SNCK do? The bottom counter. Yeah, EVOS just wants to bait them into the bottom once more.
No one bottoms twice in one lifetime, man.
Okay. RO is a lot.
A ball them never strikes twice.
Also, okay, I actually need to test this.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it would. Never mind. Why am I even thinking? Of course, the Arum snare would suppress the Nature's Realm. No needs. I'm pretty sure it suppresses everything.
It should.
He's immune to CC. Everything that's immune to CC doesn't matter in this face of snare. In any case,
I've never watched the interactions, so I don't want to say it does without. It should, but I don't want to say it does.
The only problem is that if you are not close enough, you're just gonna get stunned on the way to the Ivaneth. In any case, they don't pick.
It's
RM
pretty
anyway.
quick. Like he doesn't get out
Oh, wait. By the way, we have double marksman here. I'm guessing it's gonna be. Who is in the lane here? I don't even know. I think it's Lindis in the lane.
Slims. No, Lane the Slims.
We've seen Lane Lindis in the past. I don't think I've ever seen Lane Slims in a professional match.
I would lane this. The only reason I would lane the Slims is because he has cleaner builds, not needing a jungle item. He can just go boots into Clavis Sancti, and he can avoid the need for a Scorching Wind, whereas I feel like Lindis really needs that extra attack speed at the early stage of the game.
Or Soul Reaver. I don't believe that. I think we've seen the Soul Reaver on Violet earlier, unless that was just them being stubborn.
Yeah. Soul Reaver Violet was the only one we've seen.
So I don't think that it's been. I don't think the change is live yet on Thailand. In any case, they pick up the Necroth. They were hovering the Zill. I kind of like the Zill more, even though we haven't seen him a lot. Because he's an extreme dive character who can get on these marksmen without taking any damage back. Now, it can be very dangerous if you're trying to dive, especially if you're kind of by yourself, because the only person at the moment... I mean, the Liliana can dive with you, but she's also pretty fragile, and the Chogner can kind of get in there, but he also just kind of walks at you. So this is dicey for the Necroth.
Zill to me feels like a character you can only pick if your mid lane is like... If your jungle mid lane combo is perfect, because the whole idea is to get him a kill at level 4 to just walk up, rip somebody apart who's rotating in towards that Abyssal Dragon, and you need that extra follow-up damage coming out from your mid laner. So like that's really a mid lane jungle duo combo play. As for SNCK's draft, double marksman, like as far as having a solid front line and team to do it with, this is a pretty good one. If they had Crashed, I'd like it more. But I do, if Evo shows me,
they need one more dive hero, and the reason is because if they dive, if they get Death's Embrace or
Irie.
You're like, yes.
No, I'm like, what dives can build mildly tanky and will be survivable? Irie, I would also take.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I might take
there
a
we
kill
go.
off.
Do it. Lock it in. I think we're fully behind EVOS now. I don't know why, but that happened. This is gonna be interesting because there's lots of damage on the side of SNCK, but they need to land the Dark Dominions and the Death's Embrace in order to hold off this dive from EVOS. This is going to be a fun one, because there's going to be lots of diving from EVOS and holding the wall, holding the fort here from SNCK and getting that damage in.
And the question, this comes down to basically two factors: how good the Irie flanks are, and
how good Moleza is. I think is a huge deal as well.
I think Moleza will be fine. I think the skill is there. I'm not worried about the Nakaroth. I'm worried about well, I'm not worried about the Nakaroth. I think that'll be a consistent factor. For the side of EVOS, they need top tier flanks, and SNCK needs to just never be caught out, because that team is squishy. If they're ever the ones not dictating the pace of a fight, they are going to need to land all of their damage perfectly. If they are ahead, if you're seeing really good Death's Embrace, if you're seeing really good Dark Dominions, if the CC and the positioning is top tier from the side of SNCK to the point where the guys from EVOS have to walk through those two, then we will see that Moonfall damage, that Lindis auto attack, that Slim's auto attack. Like they'll each get in 2 auto attacks from 2, hyper carry building AD carries and enough damage out of a mage. Like that will work.
By the way, we do have the Lindis side lane, so I win that bet. But in any case, I think that given equal play from both sides, that EVOS will win because of the Chognar factor. Dark Dominion you KS protect that out, you're fine. Obviously, you can't remove someone from the Death Embrace once it's on you, but you can preempt it. And I think that a single Death Embrace on one hero is not going to win the fight here for sponsor Neolotion. Cool kids. They have a long name. So,
yeah, they just SNCK to me, man. They have to earn. Oh, Drury with the steal is gonna get hooked in, but Orio's only got that one skill. That's gonna be some slow. GZ will get the knock up. A Mischief comes out. That's a bit of damage. PHR is looking to chase.
That was really funny, actually, because the camera was situated onto Drury there, and when she got knocked up, the entire camera was like, whoop, whoop, right back down in there. But Kinesis under a little bit of pressure here. Kareem was getting creamed on for a moment, but he's going to go ahead and back off. Oreo? Are you going to go for that?
No. Oreo, cream, cookies and cream. The
Oh,
combo that never was, the lane, the teammates that could have been.
Never to be. Well, unless they change teams, which is possible because they could. These aren't the top teams in the league. Very possible.
I mean, this is esports. Cash rules everything around me. All right, I'm done. I'm done. That's going to be the engaged in for Mona Lisa, looking to get onto GZ. Drury takes a lot of damage in that exchange. Stun onto Oreo, but he'll be fine. Yeboneth was messing around with that Abyssal Dragon. But at the end of the day, we do see SNCK.
Irie's cutting the wave.
But yeah, Irie, they've basically yielded that. I think that's fine. They're yielding more, though.
They're getting this Sage Golem here. Mollis is going to try to go in.
This is the beginning of a flank. That's a Dark Dominion forward, depending on how long this chase goes along. Here comes Cream in from the side. They need to get onto somebody. They need to pick a target. They're going to go into Nangti. Ryu used. Mona Lisa goes underneath the tower. They need a little bit more damage. Oh, the speed manages to get him. He clips him with the fadeaway. Guy will survive. And now they have to be worried about Kinesis. He's looking for an angle. He is going to go in onto Drury. They may still be able to keep him alive. That's going to be the heal that comes out. Cream into the backline, going onto GZ. They need one more auto attack. They need to get into range. They don't have the damage. No more fadeaway shurikens from Cream. But just getting that initial kill to even things out, that was one hell of a play.
Yeah, worth it for EVOS there. They had multiple heroes low, so not getting that final kill is still going to be okay for them, especially because Mona Lisa is going to go ahead and pick up the Spirit Sentinel, get himself healed up. He has like 0 mana though, so he probably going to have to go to base at some point. That is a really big deal that the Sage Golem was stolen out in retrospect for that very reason. But yeah, EVO's tying things up, and I would say that they have the late game because they don't have those uber squishies that have allowed SNCK to kind of help push them out of the way in this early game. The ranged heroes, as it were, to get a mix up. But GZ's taking a lot of damage, gets the knock up, and Drew's going to go ahead and run away. But that is a Moonfall wasted, and it's going to not be up before this next Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, that's a solid window for them. Depends on how well Cream can bait this as well as survive, because this is going to be a difficult one.
Has to do. Let's see if he can use it. Goes in. Nongti's doing a lot of damage. In comes the Dark Dominion. Wow, that was perfect. Timed that absolutely perfectly. Oreo's doing a really good job on this Mina being able to do that. Looks like a couple of ultimates used there, both from Mona Lisa and JR. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's completely... Oh! Wow. Hello? I guess that's why you built Flicker. He might also already be dead. Gets the slap off the branching out. Gets a lot of damage. PHR is going to try to get out of there. But he's going to get caught by Mona Lisa. But on the Abyssal Dragon is
They can still collapse on this.
They still can indeed. They don't have the burning power of Lindis in there. Jury's doing all he can to try to slow this down, but can't do so.
Mona Lisa went for the wave. That feels like a waste.
Yeah, I didn't.
That was a prime opportunity to kill Oreo.
They didn't know. I think they were like, well, they probably have it, and then they weren't really looking. Yeah,
no,
we know that. I think maybe Jury should have told them to come back, but.
Okay, that could have been a fair miscommunication. But I'm like, there's no way they didn't have the information technically, because Drury was just looking at him, just throwing skills as they slowly killed that with nothing but a slims. And like they cleared out a wave for it. That was a prime opportunity for a hard collapse and a kill, maybe even the objective as well.
Well, for EVOS, I would say, again, that they
Oh,
all
into the
just need to stay in
bottom
the game.
lane.
PHR, and that's why Nature's Realm is really good. They keep collapsing on them, and they keep getting those kills. Guy, under a lot of trouble, actually uses the Chaos Protection here to try to help steal this wave. In comes the Dark Dominion at the right time, going to hold multiple members in. So too does the Death Embrace come in. Jury taking a lot of damage. That spear just lasts forever. Just hard CC, just stun lock there for the longest time. Mona Lisa is going to trade out here, so EVOS is not going to fall too far behind, but that was devastating. It seemed like not really a fair fight, but they could have potentially held onto the tower, but oh my goodness, Jury was just sitting there taking a nap.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, a solid max range spear sets that up. I don't think Guy should use the chaos protection that aggressively. Should have let the minions get closer to the tower and then started to pressure it out, because nobody was taking tower damage, and Kinesis in the middle of that fight might have actually died had he been taking tower damage. So that seems like an oversight. Now PHR baiting out JR. JR is going to use the Redwood Rush, push things back, is going to flicker out of there, does not get hooked back in. We do see the objective getting started, Mona Lisa on top half of map, so it's going to need to rotate down, because the members of SNCK are going to be there very shortly to set up onto this Abyssal Dragon.
The reason why they were stunned out there, as a guy is taking a lot of damage.
Again.
It's the flashy boots, but Mona Lisa, huge dive and gets multiple members knocked up. The Dark Dominion is not going to be enough to secure the kill back onto Mona Lisa as he gets out right in time. That was huge there. Great play from the Croth, and he gets right on out of there. The Abyssal Dragon's still up for grabs, and they're going to collapse on it just now.
These Nong T spears, though, like, that's one or two times where, aside from just, like, the individual pick-off play they got top, that could have turned bad very, very quickly for the side of SNCK had EVOS been able to chase, but the Ebeneth couldn't chase, and that took away some of that potential for them.
Yeah, interesting boots here. The lack of Gilded Greaves makes this very dicey for a lot of players, like the Hermes Select on the Crixie, like the flashy boots on this Liliana, just making things more difficult than perhaps they needed to be, but the greed is real for sure. JR trying to make something happen here. Obviously, he is Yebenes, so doesn't really die unless you get messed up like that by Jeezy. But they're going to be well on their way, and EVOS takes a 400-300 gold lead here. And like we kept mentioning,
top. Nope, Omen will get out of there. He's got the sense, the good sense to leave. I don't know if Guy really wants that. If I'm Guy, I kind of get out of there.
Well, he was being back. He wants to heal that little tiny bit of health, because there's not a whole lot of stuff to be doing on the map right now. So he's trying to get out of there. Mona Lisa takes a bit of damage from GZ. And they're going to be trying to hold on to this bottom lane here. JR taking a lot of damage. This is not the best situation for JR, and perhaps that's why SNCK decided to go with a super long-range composition double marksman and Crixie, because JR, he really relies on being able to slap people around to get that Redwood Rush off of cooldown. That said, once he gets into a proper team fight, it's going to be very difficult to deal with him. Once he pops at Nature's Realm, you can't really get close. So if EVOS can bait a team fight out and have JR in the middle of it, it'll be huge. Nong T able to get away from the Mona Lisa chase there, but the Chaos Protection going to help out Guy get away from all that. Multiple members of EVOS are low, but it looks like they're going to back out.
Yeah, and they're not being given an opportunity to build any more of a lead. It's just kind of waiting for that Abyssal Dragon to come up, as neither team is comfortable taking the Dark Slayer. We're starting to see some aggression from SNCK looking to cut off Cream's positioning. Cream will dodge out the extra stun, throws out a spin, now uses the gets position for 2, gets the execution. That's huge. Now GZ goes very, very deep, gets a knockup, but there's going to be so much shielding. The Essence of the Windshield comes out. Dark Dominion from Oreo, pull back in. Mischief is there. That's the kill. They will be able to get 1-for-1 in that trade. Yebeneth, JR was looking for an opportunity, is going to annoy Oreo, but I don't see a death going in there, and just the fact that Cream survived that is impressive.
Yeah, the Essence of the Wind on both sides were there to help either team out, and that allowed the key members there, Jeezy and Cream, to get out of there alive. In comes the Mona Lisa, lots of damage on the PHR, though the damage is coming back towards PHR has 0 mana though, so he can't really use his ultimate. He's gonna have to back out of there. If EVOS recognizes, maybe they can take the Abyssal Dragon, realizing that without that mana they can't really do that. And yeah, smart move by them. They know that PHR cannot be in the vicinity because he had 0 mana. So smart move here, smart rotation onto this Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, they'll secure that, get themselves some extra gold. They're gonna give the sigil over to Mona Lisa, and the damage is starting to build up for this Nacroth. Has a rank breaker, has an Omni Arms, has the Mantle of Raw, so actually gonna be able to do some solid damage to these squishies. Plenty of ability to stick to the target. I'm not sure what he's gonna go for 4th item, but I mean, you catch a Crixie, you catch any of these squishy targets, and there are plenty of them.
Ooh, the bush party is real. Oh, they're getting in there.
got
Oh,
it.
it's
That's
not
the
with the
stun
Steam! Oh my goodness. Even the Chognon was there, even if the Dark Dominion went out, but Aria wasn't even with the Steam, and the Reiki shot's going to connect as well. He's going to go down. Peter is trying to do the damage. Mona Lisa's not afraid. Maybe he should be going to go ahead and get out of there, but that is a 3 kill there for EVOS. They're starting to make things happen. Need to still work on these towers, but they're starting to gain that lead.
It just takes one good party bush, and everything kind of starts to turn. Now you've got the Nacroth off clearing out jungle. You've got triple member pressure up in the top half of the map. They don't have a They don't have a marksman, so their siege is predicated on having better wave control than their opponents. Mona Lisa, it takes the most scenic of routes to be able to bait in PHR. They do manage to get the stun, but there isn't enough damage to finish him off. It was all a debate by Mona Lisa. Guy's gonna get pulled in by Aria, gets knocked up. But I don't really see that going anywhere. JR with the clap back to bring them back into firing range, but this is Mona Lisa moving around the map, puts a little pressure on the Kinesis, walks away, and is going to continue to play the hit and run as JR manages. Yeah, I'm not sure what that interaction is. That looks like a weird Redwood Rush knock-up shenanigans. He'll take that bottom tier 2 tower, and EVO's just going to continue to make their way around the horn and just mess with the members of SNCK.
They don't get any more kills after that initial bush party, but that's a pretty good pickup for what they're trying to get in there. Since they only had a 2,000 gold lead, coming away with 4 towers is kind of nice. And now they have lots of map control. The only thing they don't have is access to their opponent's high ground, but they're in really good shape.
Oh well, Clevisake already finished on the Mona Lisa, so that's the damage, that's the deeps, and on the way in, Dr. Mini's already been used. Jeezy gets crit super hard. Guys managed to survive. Here comes Irene from the back line, does get knocked out very, very quickly. Mona Lisa into the back, gets some significant more damage, and Drury is there to help him out. Gets massive damage off with the...
the Reiki shot! Oh, almost there. Well, Jeezy does pick up the Arctic Orb. I'm not sure that's going to be super helpful just to keep him alive only, but does pick up that double kill. That's one thing going for them. They're going to take this tower down right quick, though, because of the extra damage here from Drury in that Fox form. I don't think they have what it takes to take down the core, but that's perfectly fine. They're going to dive over the wall and almost kill Jeezy. That's my "you're almost died" voice. But things are calming down now. EVOS with a significant lead at the moment.
Yeah, things are starting to get a little out of control.
Oh goodness. Blade of Eternity on the Yebeneth now. He has a nice mix of damage and survivability. That Blade of Eternity does add 10% damage to your entire kit. Has a mental raw. Yeah, he's going to be a huge force. And then that last one, before I say anything else, Cream going in there, getting stuck inside there. Lots of damage coming from Nong T. That, okay, Chaos Protection goes out. Maybe it's a whole bait because the Dark Slayer is going down here. JR is going to go ahead and try to scout out, make sure no shenanigans go down. But they're going to go ahead and take this nice and easy.
It was all planned. Although, look at the beauty. Look at the beauty of those 3 Murmasas. Just look at it. Look at all of that. Look at all of that percentage-based penetration. It's beautiful.
I'm gonna ruin your day by pointing out the rank breaker and let us build before that.
Yeah, I only just built a rank breaker before that. But specifically to the way she was playing up the lane and the opponent she had in lane, the rank breaker made sense because she was playing into a tank lane as a side lane like this. That actually had value. JR's
Nature's Realm.
Yeah, Nature's Realm is there. That's going to get a little bit of a stun. Oreo takes a little bit of a hit to the face as well.
Guys
That's going to get
going
very,
in
very
there.
low. Gas protection is out there, but here's another Lisa. That's one crit onto Jeezy. He's going to have to keep himself alive with the ice, but the ice don't matter. The Drake is going to come down to help them pressure this out. They have the healing buff coming off of the Dark Slayer, and
the coordination just wasn't there. The Arctic orb went off, and there was no one around to take advantage of the fact that he was moonfalling on everyone and invulnerable. Everyone was just in full retreat, and that's when you feel bad as GC. It's like, I did it! I baited them all! Where were you guys, team? Hello, team! And here comes the Drake onto the core. Are they going to be able to finish things off? In comes Guy, doing lots of damage, getting the Chaos Protection in there. The Dark Dominion is going to be helping out a little bit, but JR with that Nature's Realm, no, that's going to be most likely it's the... Oh my goodness, the core is going down through all of that, and good night. Feels bad when you have to run away because a Reiki shot's following you and your core is dying. That's a feels bad man moment.
Gotta run into the fountain and pray that you survive the Reiki shot damage. Only way.
Or just run into the opposing team and hope that the game glitches and blows up everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. Probably not, but it could happen.
Or just
EVOS...
just do it. Just take it like a man and go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, take that Reiki shot on the chin. Just accept the fact that you're gonna die. So that is gonna be EVOS picking up a much needed win. It was sloppier than before. They're gonna need to go to the drawing board and possibly pay a witch doctor to curse their enemies, because their next matchup is IT.City Bacon. That does not.
Okay,
that does not bode well.
The team they're competing with to make the playoffs is RRQ. RRQ plays IT.City Bacon and Alpha Red. Alpha Red has been playing like crap lately, but they could regain their form. They were previously #1 in the league. EVOS, on the other hand, plays IT.City Bacon and Bazaar, two teams who have been amazing lately. They could maybe bank on the fact that Bazaar is a bit shook after their pretty bad loss to Bacon, and perhaps they can take a game, perhaps they can tie things up, and maybe there's some sort of tiebreaker shenanigans where they can come back. Looking at the actual overall records, they have way more losses, so maybe some sort of head-to-head thing comes in play. The point is, they have a chance, in theory, as we take a look at our standings.
So you're saying there's a chance.
More like 1 in a million. In any case, I do remember that movie, by the way. IT.City Bacon on top, where they belong. The defending champions. Bazaar Gaming, also, I would say, where they belong, as Alpha Red has not looked good. And those are the rest of your standings. SNCK out, TDC out, BRAW most likely out, and it's a fight between RRQ and EVOS. Keep in mind that this is kind of like a semi-gauntlet style playoffs where the top 2 teams are in the winners bracket, and the 3rd and 4th place team are in the losers bracket of a double elimination tournament. So you want to get in those top 2 spots. So Alfred needs to fix whatever's ailing them right quick. In any case, that's going to be it for us today. Thanks for watching, guys. That is week 7 completed for the RPL. We only have 1 week left for our teams, and they all have an equal 12 matches played, though that's a little bit misleading because Bacon and RRQ have not played their week 7 matches. But I suppose that's irrelevant, right? They're going to be playing their last 2 matches over the course of next week, and we will finally have our playoff matchup set. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, where we will be transitioning over to the GCS. And who do we have tomorrow for the GCS?
We've got HQ versus J Team and Hong Kong Attitude versus 1. So
juicy.
Just a set of very, very important games. A battle for 2nd place between J Team and AHQ. 1 trying to maintain their position in 4th. Hong Kong Attitude right behind them by about 1 game. Or 1 series by a couple of matches, though.
Alright, and that will be tomorrow, I believe, at 8 o'clock my time. And I live in Japan, so for you guys, that is 20 hours and 30 minutes from now. I think that's correct.
So 4, 6, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Something like that. Yes, I believe so.
Something in that range.
Yeah, for you guys, it's somewhere around there. You don't have to tune in exactly at that time, but make sure you guys tune in because it's going to be a good one. So thanks again for watching, and we are out of here. Ron, you want to say anything?
Nope. I'm gonna go get some sleep. My new sleep schedule is bonkers. So.
All right, bye bye, guys.